Chapter 576. Heavenly Demon Dance Technique. Heavenly Demon Shadow. Big Dipper Tyrant Fist. Yu Qinyuan and the other two surrounded Yi Chunfeng in a triangle formation. They unleashed powerful Taoist techniques one after another and attacked him, sealing off all of his dodging space. Ruthless Heavenly Tao. The moment Yu Qinyuan and the other two attacked, Yi Chunfeng immediately reacted. 5 heavenly Tao runes shot out from his body and transformed into the might of the heavenly Tao, bombarding the demonic Taoist's heavenly Dipper Tyrant Fist. Boom! The moment the two attacks collided, the Big Dipper Tyrant Fist was shattered without any suspense. The terrifying might of the heavenly Tao distorted the space and bombarded the demon Tao, whose expression changed slightly. Extreme defense. Just as the demon Taoist was about to be struck by the remaining power of the heaven Tao, 45 earth Tao patterns shot out from his body and quickly gathered together. They formed a huge Tao pattern light screen in front of him and resisted the remaining power of the heaven Tao. Instant kill sword. While the demon Taoist was forcefully resisting the remaining might of the heavenly Tao, Yi Chunfeng fused with the ruler armament. The will of the great Tao and the strength of millions of kilograms erupted, and an extreme sword light burst forth, piercing into the light screen of the Tao pattern. Ka-cha-cha! After being struck by Yi Chunfeng's instant kill sword, cracks appeared on the Tao rune light screen. The powerful force continued to shake the Tao rune light screen and forced the demon Tao to retreat half a meter. Wind riding technique. The moment the demon Tao was forced back by Yi Chunfeng's body flashed like a hurricane. He flashed through the gap and avoided the heavenly demon Shadow's attack. He continued to attack the demon Tao, wanting to severely injure him in one go. Lion King's Roar. Yi Chunfeng leaped and appeared above the demonic cultivator's head. He released a powerful sound wave that converged into a ferocious lion head and bombarded the demonic cultivator. Beast Soul Form. After exchanging moves, the demon Tao realized how terrifying Yi Chunfeng was. He didn't hesitate to transform into his beast soul form and increase his strength to the maximum to resist the Lion King's Roar's soundwave attack. Just as Taoist Demon was controlling the Tao pattern light screen to resist the Lion King's roar, a strange cry came from Yi Chunfeng's body. Old man, have a taste of your grandpa chaos power. Primal Chaos Roar. An earth-shattering roar erupted from Yi Chunfeng's body. Like a surging tide, it bombarded the Tao pattern light screen that was filled with cracks. For a time, the skies changed and the earth trembled. The terrifying sound waves shattered the Tao rune light screen and smashed into Taoist Demon's body, shattering his defenses. Pooh! A massive amount of blood sprayed out from the demonic Taoist's mouth. Bingyu, I'll bet with you that Yu Zhongtian smiled faintly and said in an unquestionable tone. However, halfway through his words, his expression suddenly froze. His eyes widened as he saw 2 figures appear in the destructive storm. One of them was Yi Chunfeng. He's really fine. Could it be that he has a top-grade celestial battle armor? Seeing Yi Chunfeng tear through the destructive storm and walk out unscathed, Yu Zhongtian's expression was one of disbelief, as if he had seen a ghost. Not only did Yu Zhongtian fall into a daze, even Yu Qinyuan and Yu Hong revealed looks of shock. Puppet, that indestructible puppet of his. Looking at the cold and expressionless sword puppet beside Yi Chunfeng, Mo Qianli's expression changed. Back then, Yi Chunfeng had borrowed the power of the sword puppet to block Mo Fengyun's attack and snatch away the greatest opportunity in the misty, immortal realm. Next, it's our turn to counterattack. Primal Chaos, Golden Clear Dragon Bloodlion, come out. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng summoned the 2 7th-level heavenly beasts, Primal Chaos Divine Beast and Golden Clear Dragon Bloodlion. Today, I will enter this dragon abyss. I want to see who can stop me. Yi Chunfeng said domineeringly, his arrogance causing Yu Qinyuan to tremble. You're courting death. Yu Qinyuan, who was a second-level combat beast emperor, was completely enraged. He ignited his spiritual beast bloodline and instantly transformed into his strongest beast soul form. Holding a high-grade heavenly artifact purple lightning staff, he attacked Yi Qinfeng. Buzz! Yu Qinyuan's murderous aura surged as he attacked. The sword puppet, which had little energy left, immediately went forward, relying on its indestructible body to block Yu Qinyuan's attack. Roar! Roar! While the sword puppet and Yu Qinyuan were fighting in midair, the primal chaos divine beast and golden clear dragon blood lion pounced towards Gu Yu and the others who were blocking the dragon abyss, forcefully tearing apart their defensive line. Roar! 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 Seeing the two heavenly beasts breaking through the defensive line and approaching the mysterious dragon abyss, a series of dragon roars rang out. At the crucial moment, the two black flood dragons raised by the Yu family appeared. They twisted their huge bodies and launched a fatal attack against the two heavenly beasts. Fourth Heaven Sword Dao Intent, Flaming Dragon World Annihilation. Just as the primal chaos divine beast and golden clear dragon blood lion were entangled by the two black flood dragons and were fighting fiercely, 40 sword Dao patterns gushed out from Yi Qinfeng's body and turned into 9 flaming dragons that were baring their fangs and brandishing their claws, bombarding towards the entrance of the dragon abyss. Yi Qinfeng wanted to rely on his absolute offensive power to forcefully tear apart the defensive line of the experts from the 3 major factions and kill his way into the dragon abyss to seize the great opportunity inside. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 577. Wu Wang, quickly stop him. Don't let him enter the dragon abyss. Mo Qianli knew that Yi Qinfeng was blessed with great fortune. Once he entered the dragon abyss, there was a high chance that he would snatch away all the fortuitous opportunities in the dragon abyss. As he tried his best to stop him, he shouted at Mo Wang, "Bloodline ignition, demon-slaying dragon blade." Although Yi Qinfeng had just injured Mo Qianli, Mo Wang, and Mo Wang, as well as Yu Zhongtian and Yu Zhongtian's attacks, the prideful Mo Wang didn't back down. He couldn't back down. Mo Wang quickly ignited his spiritual beast bloodline, greatly increasing his strength. At the same time, he slashed out a demon dragon blade shadow. With a momentum that could split heaven and earth, it slashed towards the rapidly approaching Yi Qinfeng. Bingyu, let's attack as well. The moment Mo Wang attacked, Yu Bingyu and Yu Zhongtian also attacked Yi Qinfeng at the same time. Facing the 3 strongest geniuses of the Dragon Abyss Sacred City martial meet alone, Yi Qinfeng didn't show any signs of weakness. Instead, the battle intent in his body burned brighter and brighter. An unparalleled battle intent poured out of his body, causing his attack power to rise steadily. 7 swords of judgment, thunder devour. 20 thunder Dao patterns and 40 sword Dao patterns revolved around his body, forming a whirlpool of thunder and lightning. It swallowed everything and bombarded the attacks of Mo Wang and the other 2. Brat, die for me. Just as the 4 terrifying attacks collided and released destructive energy, Mo Wang, who had just been injured by Yi Qinfeng, suddenly appeared and sealed off Yi Qinfeng's path of retreat. He used 9 crazed demon slashes to attack him. God Devil Bloodline Ignition, God Devil Body. At the critical moment, Yi Qinfeng ignited his demonic God bloodline. A violent and tyrannical aura was emitted from his body. His entire body swelled up, becoming incomparably tall and incomparably domineering. Boom boom boom. The demon Taoist instantly chopped out 7 devil-sealing saber slashes and bombarded Yi Qinfeng's body. The terrifying attack power directly chopped him into the destructive energy. Just when everyone thought that even if Yi Qinfeng didn't die, He would at least be heavily injured after taking on the attacks of the four. Yi Chunfeng, who had transformed into his fiend god body, appeared in front of Mo Wuang. Great Sun Heavenly Fire Fist. The black heavenly flames, the Tao pattern of fire, and the power of more than 20 million caddies quickly converged and transformed into a blinding blazing sun. It released a destructive power and blasted towards Mo Wuang. Blood Devil Seal. Mo Wuang reacted quickly. He overlapped his hands in front of his chest, forming a giant crimson hand imbued with demonic qi. He blocked the Great Sun Heavenly Fire Fist right in front of him. Boom! When the two fists collided, a force of over 20 million Jin erupted, shattering the Blood Devil Seal as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing into Mo Wuang's chest, sending him flying. Even the mid-grade heaven-grade battle armor he was wearing was deformed. What kind of body is this? What kind of power is this? Yu Bingyu was dumbfounded by Yi Chunfeng revealing his trump cards again and again. Yi Chunfeng was like a bottomless pit. No one knew how deep his foundation was, but at the most crucial moment, he was always able to use his trump cards to turn the tide. He blocked it. He actually used his body to block the crazed Devil 7 slashes. Could it be that his physical body has reached the level of a peak-grade heaven-grade artifact? The demon Taoist was also shocked by Yi Chunfeng's powerful physical body. Everyone, attack together. With our combined power, we can definitely kill that little bastard. Mo Qianli's expression was gloomy as he shouted. His dark Tao pattern and surging soul energy fused together, forming a myriad transformations Black Lotus that attacked Yi Chunfeng. When Mo Qianli made his move, Yu Hong also made her move. The terrifying ghost divine claw broke out of her voluptuous body and tore through the void, grabbing at Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng's god-devil body might be powerful, but when facing Mo Qianli, Yu Hong, and the others at the same time, he still felt immense pressure. In addition, Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu's strength was not inferior to Mo Qianli's. For a moment, his attacks were gradually suppressed. Roar! Roar! Seeing that Yi Chunfeng was in danger, the golden clear dragon blood lion let out a savage roar. The golden lion bloodline and dragon bloodline were ignited at the same time. The violent power made the black flood dragon instinctively feel fear. Roar! Roar! The lion's roar that pierced through the clouds echoed. A large amount of dragon power was spewed out from the golden clear dragon blood lion's mouth, shattering the black flames released by the black flood dragon and bombarding its huge body. Roar! Although the black flood dragon was strong, there was still a huge difference in strength between it and the golden clear dragon blood lion. After being attacked by the dragon power released by the golden clear dragon blood lion, the black scales that covered its body were immediately shattered, and a large amount of blood flowed out. After injuring the black flood dragon with a roar, the golden clear dragon blood lion, whose body was constantly growing, leaped up and waved its sharp lion claws, slapping at the black flood dragon's head. It wanted to kill it as soon as possible and help Yi Chunfeng resist the enemy. While the golden clear dragon bloodlion was suppressing the black flood dragon with all its strength, the chaos divine beast also had the absolute advantage. Although it did not have a true body, the primordial roar it released caused fatal damage to the black flood dragon. On the other hand, the sword puppet, whose energy was almost depleted, was suppressed by Yu Qinyuan's ferocious attacks. It could only rely on its indestructible body to resist Yu Qinyuan's attacks with all its strength, not giving him a chance to attack Yi Chunfeng. You guys help me restrict his speed. I will deal a fatal blow to him. After combining everyone's strength to suppress Yi Chunfeng's attacks, Yu Hong immediately transmitted a message to Mo Qianli, Taoist demon, and the others. After receiving Yu Hong's transmission, Mo Qianli, Taoist demon, Yu Zhongtian, and the others all unleashed powerful attacks to limit Yi Chunfeng's attacks to the greatest extent possible, creating an opportunity for Yu Hong to deal a fatal blow. Eternal Silence Millstone. Several grand Tao wills gushed out from Yu Hong's body, quickly condensing into a huge millstone that distorted the void and twined with layers of devil chi. The instant Yu Hong condensed the millstone, she spared no expense to force out a mouthful of blood and sprayed it onto the millstone, further increasing its offensive power. Die! When the millstone's power reached its limit, Yu Hong immediately controlled it to smash down, bombarding Yi Chunfeng with unstoppable momentum. She wanted to shatter his defenses and kill him in one fell swoop. Vermilion Bird Cauldron. At the critical moment, Yi Chunfeng, whose offensive was completely suppressed, summoned the Vermilion Bird Cauldron and controlled it to smash into the millstone. Boom! The Vermilion Bird Cauldron and Eternal Silence millstone collided, causing the void to distort. A large amount of twisting energy was like serpents dancing in the air. Yu Hong spat out a mouthful of her own essence blood. The silent millstone was powerful, but it couldn't withstand the Suzaku Cauldron's attack. The two powerful attacks clashed for 3 breaths, and the silent millstone was shattered. In the next moment, a sharp cry rang out. The Vermilion Bird Cauldron's item spirit flew out of the cauldron and danced in the air. Its terrifying attack directly tore apart Mo Qianli and the others' attacks, forcing them back. Is this a Tao treasure? Seeing the Vermilion Bird Cauldron's power, Mo Qianli and the others' hearts trembled. Even Yu Hong, who came from a rank 8 Holy Land, was shocked. That was because even the Yu family only had one Tao treasure, and that Tao treasure had been passed down for over 100,000 years. It was obtained by the Yu family's ancestor in a land of great opportunity after narrowly escaping death. Yi Chunfeng, I have to admit that your guts are really big. You actually dared to disguise yourself and cause trouble in Dragon Lake Sacred City. Looks like the one who killed my West Devil Sect's 2 elders and took away the Stone Hall's fortune was you. Just as Yi Chunfeng summoned the Vermilion Bird Cauldron and prepared to kill, a thunderous roar rang out. Mo Fengyun, who had completely fused with the Dragon Heart and broken through the bottleneck to become a rank 3 Combat Beast Emperor, appeared riding the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat. The appearance of Mo Fengyun and the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat reversed the situation, causing Yi Chunfeng's situation to become even more dangerous. Today's 2 chapters mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 578. This Aura. Level 3 Combat Beast Emperor. Mo Fengyun has broken through to Level 3 Combat Beast Emperor so quickly. Did he obtain the mysterious demon heart? Feeling the terrifying aura from Mo Fengyun, Yi Chunfeng's face changed slightly. He did not expect Mo Fengyun to break through to Level 3 Combat Beast Emperor in just a few months. The only thing that could help him break through in such a short time was the demon heart that had been suppressed by the Sword Dao Steel for many years. Sword Puppet, Hun Dun, Jin Qing Dragon Bloodlion, come back. Mo Fengyun's appearance brought a fatal threat to Yi Chunfeng. He did not dare to continue fighting. He quickly summoned the Sword Puppet and the 2 heavenly beasts to attack Mo Qianli and the others. They tore through the defensive line and rushed towards the dragon abyss. Yi Chunfeng, leave your life behind. While Yi Chunfeng was trying to break through the encirclement, Mo Fengyun stepped on the heavenly bat and attacked rapidly. His speed was so fast that it left a scarlet blood shadow in the air. Dark Dao Spear. 40 dark Dao runes merged into the supreme grade heavenly long spear in his hand and intertwined into a black spear light that was dozens of feet long. It pierced through the air and pierced towards Yi Chunfeng. Sword Puppet, defend. Feeling the terror of Mo Fengyun's spear, Yi Chunfeng immediately summoned the Sword Puppet to defend. He used his body to block the Dark Dao Spear's attack trajectory. Boom, boom, boom. When the Dark Dao Spear pierced the Sword Puppet's chest, it immediately stirred up a glaring flame. The powerful spear intent constantly consumed the remaining energy in the sword puppet's body and forced it to retreat. What is that guy? He actually used his chest to block Sect Master Mo's spear attack. It's too terrifying. I really don't know where that Yi Qinfeng came from. I feel that every single one of his techniques and every single one of his trump cards is heaven-defying. His foundation is simply too shocking. That's right. Based on the strength and trump cards that he has displayed, the number 1 position in the Dragon Lake Sacred City Martial Arts competition will definitely belong to him. Not to mention Mo Wang, even the 2 geniuses of the Yu family are no match for him. The experts of the major forces who had retreated far away were all dumbfounded when they saw the sword puppet block Mo Fengyun's dark spear with its own body. As for Shi Luo Demon, who was bent on revenge, he was scared silly. The viciousness in his heart was completely replaced by fear. If he saw Yi Qinfeng in the future, he would probably take a detour. Vermilion Bird Cauldron, destroy everything. In the instant that the sword puppet blocked the Tao of Darkness spear, Yi Qinfeng spat out 2 mouthfuls of blood essence without any hesitation, fusing them into the Vermilion Bird Furnace. He stimulated the Vermilion Bird Furnace's striking power to the greatest degree and broke through the encirclement with all his strength. Screech! After fusing with Yi Qinfeng's blood essence, the Vermilion Bird's soul became even more violent. It let out a sharp cry and controlled the Vermilion Bird Furnace to charge forward, crashing into Mo Qianli and the Demon Taoist, who were trying to stop it. The Vermilion Bird Cauldron was like a burning meteor crashing towards them. Mo Qianli, who was in his beast soul form, made the demonic cultivators feel suffocated. Even breathing became difficult, but they knew that they could not retreat. Once Yi Qinfeng entered the Dragon Abyss, all of their efforts would be wasted. They all used their strongest attacks to stop him. 10 Directions Heavenly Demon Slash. 9 Crazed Demon Axes. The cross-shaped blade slashed through space. 9 earth-shattering axe lights bombarded the Vermilion Bird Furnace like a hot knife through butter, causing a shockwave to erupt. Terrifying energy surged on the surface of the Vermilion Bird Furnace, shaking space and distorting it. The entire space became chaotic. 7 Swords of Judgment, Eclipse. Just as Mo Qianli and the Demon Taoist were trying to stop the Vermilion Bird Furnace at all costs, Yi Qinfeng put the sword puppet, the Chaos Divine Beast, and the Golden Clear Dragon Blood Lion into the universe realm. His entire body fused with the King armament, turning into a Eclipse sword. It fused with the Tao of Sword, Tao of Thunder, and Tao of Fire. It rushed into the distorted space, and rushed toward Mo Qianli and the Demon Taoist, who were under great pressure. After taking the full force of the Vermilion Bird Cauldron head-on, Mo Qianli and the demonic cultivators were already at the end of their rope. Now that they were attacked by Yi Qinfeng's Sword of Eclipse, their defenses were torn apart. The roaring wave of impact smashed into their bodies, breaking through their defenses and sending them flying. Ghost God Claw. When Yi Qinfeng borrowed the power of the Vermilion Bird Furnace to tear apart the defense of the 2 Beast Emperors, Yu Qinyuan and Yu Hong both appeared above him and used the mid-grade Tao skill Ghost God Claw to grab him. Heartless Heavenly Tao Break. The Ghost God Claw that tore through the void descended from the sky. 6 great Heavenly Tao runes shot out from his body and transformed into the might of the Heavenly Tao. They whistled as they bombarded the 2 Ghost God Claw. Boom! The violent explosion shook the world. The area outside the Dragon Abyss entrance was a blur. The terrifying energy spread out for several miles, sending many experts of the 3 major sects flying. What kind of Tao intent is this? The moment Yi Qinfeng used the Heartless Heavenly Tao, Yu Qinyuan and Yu Hong instinctively felt fear. Their attack speed slowed down a little. PFFF. After transforming into his fiend god body, Yi Qinfeng's body was comparable to a supreme-grade heaven artifact. However, he was still injured by the continuous impact of the destructive energy. Large amounts of blood spurted out from his mouth. But at this moment, he was very clear that he had to break out of the encirclement in one go. Otherwise, if he was intercepted by the demon Fengyun, only death would await him. Vermilion Bird Furnace, continue to open the path. Yi Chunfeng spat out several mouthfuls of essence blood into the Vermilion Bird Furnace. He borrowed the strength of the Vermilion Bird Furnace to forcefully open a path for himself and appeared at the entrance of the Dragon Abyss. At this time, Yu Zhongtian, Yu Bingyu, and Mo Wuang blocked in front of Yi Chunfeng, each of them unleashing their strongest killing moves at the Vermilion Bird Cauldron, wanting to stop the blood-soaked Yi Chunfeng. Fiery Dragon Annihilation, 9 Dragon Banana. The Vermilion Bird Furnace was forcefully stopped by the three geniuses. 40 sword Dao patterns shot out from his body and turned into 9 fiery dragons of annihilation. They slashed at the three geniuses and tore apart their line of defense. But the moment Yi Chunfeng tore apart the line of defense of the three geniuses, Mo Fengyun descended from the sky. He turned into a shocking black radiance and stopped Yi Chunfeng at the entrance of the Dragon Abyss. Yi Chunfeng, don't put up a pointless struggle. This will be your grave. Mo Fengyun looked at Yi Chunfeng with cold eyes. He held the supreme grade Heavenly Spear and was about to launch a series of fatal attacks to kill Yi Chunfeng. Want to kill me? You're not qualified. Yi Chunfeng's eyes narrowed. 5 streaks of chaotic energy gushed out from his body and blended together. They were like a raging dragon that bombarded Mo Fengyun. This energy again. Mo Fengyun had already experienced the terror of chaotic force in the ethereal immortal realm. His face changed, and he decisively took out the gold-armored tortoise's shell, which was comparable to a supreme-grade heaven artifact. He placed it in front of him to block the dragon's attack. Golden Rock Bloodline Ignite. As Mo Fengyun was attacked by the 5 streaks of chaotic energy, Yi Chunfeng immediately ignited his Golden Rock Bloodline. He raised his speed to the peak and rushed to the entrance of the Dragon Abyss behind Mo Fengyun. Black Wheel of Death Destroy. Seeing Yi Chunfeng rushing into the Dragon Abyss, 10 black wheels of death split out from Mo Fengyun's body and forcefully sealed the space in front of Yi Chunfeng. 20 million gene of force break. At this critical moment, Yi Chunfeng did not dodge. He raised his physical strength to the peak and used his body to crash into the space sealed by the black wheels of death. Boom! Yi Chunfeng's body, which was comparable to a supreme-grade heaven artifact, smashed the 10 black wheels of death. Under the furious gaze of Mo Fengyun, he crashed into the mysterious Dragon Abyss and disappeared. Tonight, I will post a photo of Ji Qingxue. Remember the URL. Sanwu Chinese Network. Chapter 579. Strong, that Yi Chunfeng is too strong. Even with so many experts obstructing him, he still managed to break through the defensive line and kill his way into the Dragon Abyss. Do you guys think he'll get the opportunity in the Dragon Abyss? With his strength and luck, he'll definitely get the opportunity in the Dragon Abyss. But whether he can get the most precious opportunity, only the heavens know. Witnessing Yi Chunfeng breaking through the encirclement of Mo Fengyun and the other beast emperors and killing his way into the Dragon Abyss, all the experts were stunned. Yi Chunfeng's invincible figure was deeply imprinted in the depths of their minds, unable to be dispelled. They had no doubt that if Yi Chunfeng left the Dragon Abyss alive, he would definitely grow to the extent that the entire Western continent would tremble in fear. Wuang, Qinxin, Baifeng, the 3 of you come here. Mo Fengyun was furious that Yi Chunfeng had killed his way into the Dragon Abyss, but he didn't have any dragon qi in his body, so he couldn't enter the Dragon Abyss. Helpless, he called the 3 top geniuses of the Western Devil Sect to his side. He gave the Blood Skull to Mo Wuang, the more precious Heavenly Spear to Mo Qinxin, and the Sky Blood Devil Saber to Mo Baifeng. The Dragon Abyss is an opportunity for our Western continent. We can't let an outsider take it away. Now, I order the three of you to enter the dragon abyss and hunt him down. No matter the price, you must kill him." Mo Fengyun gave an order that could not be disobeyed. "Yes, sect master. I won't let him leave the dragon abyss alive." The head disciple of the Western Devil sect, Mo Wuang, solemnly nodded his head. At this time, the gloomy Yu Qinyuan also called Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu to his side. He gave them a few precious heavenly treasures and ordered them to enter the dragon abyss to hunt down Yi Chunfeng. Just as Mo Wuang, Yu Zhongtian, and the other four entered the dragon abyss to hunt down Yi Chunfeng, Mo Fengyun said in a deep voice, "The dragon abyss is right in front of you. Disciples with a complete dragon chi body can enter." Hearing Mo Fengyun's words, many people were pleasantly surprised. However, there were also many who were hesitant. After all, no matter how good the opportunities were, one had to be alive to obtain them. However, as more and more geniuses entered the dragon abyss, the hearts of several other disciples wavered. Finally, the top 16 of the Dragon Abyss Sacred City Martial Meeting all entered the Dragon Abyss. The Dragon Abyss had also become more complicated because of their entry. The cold wind was biting cold, and it was pitch black. Yi Chunfeng flew into the Dragon Abyss and fell rapidly. He did not know how long he had been falling, but Yi Chunfeng felt the dragon aura in the dragon-shaped patterns suddenly leak out, transforming into a complete golden dragon. It brought Yi Chunfeng through layers of restrictive spells and entered a mysterious interstitial space. 100 burly dragon soul warriors appeared in this spatial pocket. They were covered in thick dragon scales and wielded all kinds of weapons. They had reached the level of Level 1 Defiant Beast Kings, and they were all dragon soul warriors. Test. Looking at the 100 Level 1 Defiant Beast Kings in front of him, Yi Chunfeng immediately guessed that they should be the test of the Dragon Abyss. Only by passing the test could he truly enter the Dragon Abyss. Sword Dao Pattern Kill. Yi Chunfeng quickly drank a mouthful of heavenly fate water and recovered his soul power. Wielding his king weapon, he charged towards the 100 dragon soul warriors. Roar! 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 Yi Chunfeng charged over. The 100 dragon soul warriors opened their eyes at the same time and let out earth-shattering dragon roars. Wielding all kinds of weapons, they surrounded Yi Chunfeng. Sword Dao Intent, Sword Tornado. Yi Chunfeng slaughtered his way into the 100 dragon soul warriors like a hot knife through butter. His 40 sword Dao patterns spun rapidly, forming extremely destructive sword chi tornadoes. They quickly killed one dragon soul warrior after another with decent defense. Although the strength of the dragon soul warriors was far superior to ordinary first-grade Defiant Beast Kings, they couldn't withstand the attacks of 40 sword Dao patterns at all. Soon, the dragon soul warriors were killed by Yi Chunfeng one after another. End Dragon Force. Is this the reward of the test? When Yi Chunfeng killed the dragon soul warriors, he discovered strands of pure dragon force entering his body through his pores. He was pleasantly surprised. Double-headed Blood Dragon King Attack. After experiencing the benefits of killing the dragon soul warriors, Yi Chunfeng's soul power completely erupted. He condensed the double-headed Blood Dragon King's dragon force and killed the dragon soul warriors together with him. In less than an hour, the 100 dragon soul warriors were all killed by Yi Chunfeng and the double-headed Blood Dragon King. They disappeared from this mysterious space. After fusing with the dragon force formed by the 100 dragon soul warriors, Yi Chunfeng's dragon bloodline slowly strengthened. The double-headed Blood Dragon King also changed slightly. The soul power it contained was getting more and more terrifying. As expected, only by killing all the dragon soul warriors can I enter the next floor. After the 100 dragon soul warriors disappeared, a strange staircase appeared in the mysterious space. Yi Chunfeng followed the staircase and entered the second layer of the spatial pocket. At the same time, Mo Wuang, Yu Zhongtian, Yu Bingyu, and the others were also fighting fiercely with the dragon soul warriors in the mysterious space. They were fusing with the precious dragon force and increasing their strength. Their killing speed was as fast as Yi Chunfeng. In less than an hour, they slaughtered the enemies in the first layer and followed closely behind Yi Chunfeng into the second layer. 80 Rank 2 Defiant Beast King Dragon Soul Warriors. After entering the second layer of the spatial pocket, Yi Chunfeng released his soul spirit and locked onto the enemies. His body flashed as he held onto the ruler weapon and continued to rush forward. Thunder light lightning flash. Yi Chunfeng's body flashed slightly. Like a winding lightning bolt, he tore apart the dragon roars released by the 80 dragon soul warriors and rushed into the crowd. In the next moment, the double-headed Blood Dragon King and the 40 sword Dao patterns turned into a rain of swords and attacked the Berserk Dragon Soul Warriors. Very quickly, the incomparably sharp sword Dao patterns pierced through the bodies of the Dragon Soul Warriors one by one, killing them and turning them into strands of pure dragon power that fused into Yi Chunfeng's body. Compared to the first layer, the dragon force in the second layer was much purer, allowing Yi Chunfeng to obtain a lot of benefit. Yi Chunfeng felt that if he continued to kill, his dragon bloodline might evolve. He might even break through the bottleneck and become a rank 4 Defiant Beast King. Roughly 2 hours later, the blood-soaked Yi Chunfeng killed the 80 rank 2 Defiant Beast King Dragon Soul Warriors. After a short rest, he went down the stairs and entered the third layer of the spatial pocket. 60 rank 3 Defiant Beast King Dragon Soul Warriors. The difficulty is indeed increasing. After entering the third layer of the spatial pocket, Yi Chunfeng's eyes were burning with battle intent. The 4 spiritual pearls in his body erupted as he charged over with the double-headed Blood Dragon King and engaged in an intense battle with the Dragon Soul Warriors who only knew how to kill. Just as Yi Chunfeng was killing his way through, wanting to pass the test and enter the Dragon Abyss to search for the great opportunity in the Dragon Abyss and the connection between the Dragon Abyss and the Emperor Heaven Sword, Mo Fengyun, Yu Qinyuan, and the others joined hands and laid down a powerful killing array at the entrance of the Dragon Abyss. They sealed the Dragon Abyss and waited for him to come out so that they could kill him with all their might to prevent future troubles. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 580. Few, the sixth layer of space. I wonder how many more layers of space there are in the Dragon Abyss. Yi Chunfeng killed tirelessly for a day and arrived at the sixth layer of space. He discovered that this space was filled with powerful dragon aura. There were 5 6-meter-tall, spear-wielding dragon soul warrior statues. Persevere for 2 hours to pass. The loser will die. Just as Yi Chunfeng was silently observing the 5 giant statues, a deep voice suddenly echoed in this space and entered Yi Chunfeng's ears. In the next moment, the 5 statues shattered. The 5 spear-wielding dragon soul warriors, who were Class 6 Defiant Beast Kings, attacked Yi Chunfeng with shocking killing intent. This difficulty is a little low. Any one of these 5 dragon soul warriors could easily defeat 99% of the experts in the Western continent. However, after fusing with a large amount of dragon power, Yi Chunfeng's strength had increased tremendously. He was only 1 step away from breaking through to Class 4 Defiant Beast King. Furthermore, he had transformed into his divine demon body and was close to Class 2 Combat Beast Emperor. The 5 dragon soul warriors couldn't pose a threat to him. Wrath of divine punishment. The 5 dragon soul warriors closed in. The black flames Skyfire, extreme ancient heavenly thunder, and extreme ancient heavenly water quickly fused and formed the wrath of divine punishment. It distorted the space and bombarded the 5 dragon soul warriors. Boom! After being attacked by the wrath of divine punishment, the 5 dragon soul warriors trembled. The dragon scales covering their bodies were constantly shattered. They lost control of their bodies and fell into the distance. 7 swords of judgment, Thunder Devour. When the 5 dragon soul warriors' defenses were weakened to the lowest by the wrath of divine punishment, the Sword Dao pattern and Thunder Dao pattern surged out of Jiang Yi's body and turned into a giant thunder sword. It carried a shocking destructive power and slashed at the 5 dragon soul warriors. Bang! Bang! 2 dragon soul warriors couldn't withstand the attack of the giant thunder sword. Their heavily injured bodies shattered one after another and turned into 2 strands of pure dragon power that merged with Yi Qinfeng's body. After killing 2 dragon soul warriors with a single strike, Yi Qinfeng followed up with another attack. He unleashed the Skyfire Fist and the Dark Underworld Extreme Way in quick succession, destroying the bodies of the remaining 3 dragon soul warriors as easily as crushing dry weed. He successfully passed the test of the 6th space. In the next layer of space, there should be a half-step combat Beast Emperor's test. After fusing with 5 strands of pure dragon energy, Yi Qinfeng could have broken through in one go. However, in order to make his cultivation foundation unbreakable, Yi Qinfeng forcefully suppressed his cultivation. He was going to wait until he reached the limit of his cultivation before breaking through to level 4 Defiant Beast King. As the unstoppable Yi Qinfeng entered the 7th space, Yu Zhongtian, Yu Bingyu, and Mo Wuang entered the 6th space to take the test. He Shi Tu, Mo Qinxin, Ing, and the others entered the 5th space to take the test. Yu Yiheng, Shi Luo Mo Baifeng, Mo Yuanling, Nether Sunflower Yanguang, and Xie Qinyun entered the 4th space to fight against 40 level 4 Defiant Beast Kings. After fusing with a large amount of dragon energy, their strength had greatly increased. Many of them had even broken through to the next realm. This was especially true for Mo Wang, who had broken through to the 6th level of Defiant Beast King and reached the half-step Beast Emperor realm. As expected, there are 2 half-step combat Beast Emperor Dragon Soul Warriors guarding the 7th space. Following the stairs to the 7th space, Yi Qinfeng saw 2 statues emitting a terrifying dragon aura. Through the aura of the 2 statues, Yi Qinfeng could basically confirm that they were half-step combat Beast Emperors. Roar! When Yi Qinfeng approached the 2 dragon-shaped sculptures, dragon roars rang out one after another, shattering the 2 sculptures and revealing 2 dragon soul warriors who were almost 5 meters tall and wielding dark golden dragon-headed spears. Resist for 2 hours to pass, the loser dies. Looking at the 2 half-step combat Beast Emperor Dragon Soul Warriors, Yi Qinfeng once again received the information that he had passed. His body flashed and he charged forward with his monarch weapon. Roar! Yi Qinfeng closed in, and the 2 dragon soul warriors immediately opened their bloody mouths, releasing endless dragon roars that bombarded him like a tsunami. Lion King's roar. A terrifying dragon's roar rang out. Yi Qinfeng took a step forward and his upper body rapidly expanded. He let out a lion's might that shook the heavens as he charged forward. The 3 powerful sound waves attacked together, forming a powerful vortex in midair, shaking the space and making buzzing sounds. Flame Dragon World Annihilation, 9 Dragon Sword Slash. Just as the sound wave whirlpool was getting more and more intense, the 40 sword Dao patterns turned into 9 flaming dragons that were baring their fangs and brandishing their claws. They tore through the violently fluctuating space and bombarded the 2 dragon soul warriors. Boom! 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 After 9 explosions, more than half of the dragon scales on the 2 dragon soul warriors shattered and a large amount of blood seeped out. Roar! Roar! With their bodies injured, the 2 dragon soul warriors were completely infuriated. They wielded 6-feet-long spears that had a coiling dragon coiling around them and pierced towards Yi Qinfeng. Emperor Heavenly Sword Art, Sword of the Monarch. The 2 dragon soul warriors were surging with killing intent as Yi Qinfeng immediately executed the Emperor Heavenly Sword Art that he was still very unfamiliar with. He slashed out with the Sword of the Monarch that was filled with the aura of the Monarch at close range. The Sword of the Monarch slashed forward and sent one of the dragon soul warriors flying dozens of meters away, suffering severe injuries. Die. The other dragon soul warrior seized the opportunity when Yi Chunfeng was attacking with all his might and let out an inhuman voice. He wielded his dragon-headed spear and pierced towards Yi Chunfeng's chest, wanting to pierce through his chest. Facing this powerful spear, Yi Chunfeng ignited his divine demon bloodline. While increasing his strength, he also strengthened his physical body's defense and blocked this spear attack head-on. Mystic Underworld Extreme Tao. The moment Jiang Yi used his body to block the Dragon Soul Warrior's full-powered spear attack, he quickly blasted out the Mystic Underworld Extreme Tao and attacked the Dragon Soul Warrior's head at close range. Bang! Caught off guard, the Dragon Soul Warrior's head was shattered by the Xianming Extreme Wei, which was filled with the will of the Great Wei. His huge body shattered and turned into pure dragon power, which merged into Yi Chunfeng's body. After killing one person, Yi Chunfeng's feet flashed, and he appeared like a bolt of lightning in front of the bloody dragon soul warrior that had been sent flying by the sword of the monarch. He unleashed a series of ferocious attacks and killed the dragon soul warrior. After using all his strength to kill two half-step combat beast emperors, Yi Chunfeng had fused with a large amount of dragon power and increased his strength. He didn't immediately use the spatial staircase that suddenly cracked open to head to the 8th level of space. Instead, he quietly sat cross-legged on the ground and recuperated. About half an hour later, Yi Chunfeng's consumed soul power was completely recovered, and his condition was adjusted to the best. He slowly stood up and went down the spatial staircase to the 8th level to continue accepting challenges. According to the change in strength of the guardian of each level, the guardian of the 8th level would be a level 1 combat beast emperor dragon soul warrior. However, Yi Chunfeng, whose strength was constantly increasing, was fearless and soon arrived at the 8th level. Azure Dragon. As soon as he entered the 8th layer, he saw a level 7 heavenly beast azure dragon, the size of a small mountain, its body covered in thick green scales. It was in a deep slumber, its body coiled in the air, its entire body covered in thick green scales. Mobile reading home, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 581. The difficulty has finally increased. From the 7th spatial zone onwards, one didn't need to kill the guardians and only needed to persist for 2 hours to pass. However, Yi Chunfeng could sense a power that made his heart palpitate from the terrifying aura emitted by the azure dragon. Dragon Bloodline Ignition, Beast Soul Form. Although the azure dragon in front of him wasn't a real existence, Yi Chunfeng didn't dare to be careless. He didn't hesitate to ignite the dragon bloodline. While greatly increasing his strength, he transformed into a beast soul form with shocking combat power. He took heavy steps and walked towards the azure dragon. Sensing Yi Chunfeng's constantly increasing aura, the sleeping azure dragon was awakened. It opened its bucket-sized eyes and shot out a chilling light. Roar! A furious roar echoed as the furious azure dragon opened its bloody mouth and rushed towards Yi Chunfeng, who was walking towards it. It let out a terrifying dragon roar. Great Sun Heavenly Fire Fist. The dragon's roar engulfed the heavens and earth. Yi Chunfeng's entire body suddenly sped up. Like a scorching sun, he charged into the dragon's roar. The frightening attack directly tore the dragon's roar apart. Double-headed Blood Dragon King. As he approached the azure dragon, Yi Chunfeng completely released the soul power in his mind and summoned his spiritual beast, the double-headed Blood Dragon King, to attack the azure dragon with shocking dragon prowess. After fusing with a large amount of dragon aura, the double-headed Blood Dragon King's strength almost reached the level of a grade 7 heavenly beast. There was even a trace of a divine beast's aura in its body. It fought with the azure dragon in midair and wasn't at a disadvantage. Boom, boom, boom. The two divine dragons fought fiercely in midair, and the destructive power they created was earth-shattering. Waves of air surged into the sky, causing the entire spatial zone to be in chaos. Making use of the time when the double-headed Blood Dragon King was entangled with the Azure Dragon, Yi Chunfeng deduced the Emperor Heavenly Sword art over and over again in his mind, increasing the power of the King's sword to the limits of his control. Emperor Heavenly Sword art, King's Sword. A dazzling King's sword broke out from Yi Chunfeng's body and soared into the sky. It was mixed with the Sword Dao pattern, Thunder Dao pattern, and Heaven Dao pattern. It was as though it was going to split the heaven and earth as it slashed towards the furious Azure Dragon. Chi! The sound of space being torn apart rang out, and the invincible King's sword ruthlessly chopped down on the Azure Dragon's huge body, breaking through the thick dragon scales and cutting open its dragon body, leaving behind a sword scar that was more than 10 meters long, so deep that the dragon bones could be seen. Immediately, a large amount of blood flowed uncontrollably from the sword wound, sprinkling down like rain. Roar! The double-headed Blood Dragon King seized the opportunity when the Azure Dragon was injured by Yi Chunfeng and continuously let out a deafening dragon roar. Its huge body suddenly accelerated and directly entangled the Azure Dragon that was more than a kilometer long. It opened its two bloody mouths and bit the Azure Dragon's most vulnerable neck. 7 Swords of Judgment Eclipse. The instant the Azure Dragon was bitten by the two-headed Blood Dragon King and couldn't move, Yi Chunfeng soared into the sky. Several great attainments gushed out from his body and turned into a scorching eclipse sword. It swept through the sky and pierced into the Azure Dragon's huge head. Bang! Bang! The Azure Dragon's towering dragon horns were shattered. The eclipse sword broke open the Azure Dragon's head like a hot knife through butter and penetrated its huge body, splitting more than half of its body. Roar! The Azure Dragon let out a painful howl, and its huge body began to crack inch by inch. In the end, it completely shattered and turned into 2 extremely pure strands of dragon power, fusing into the two-headed Blood Dragon King and Yi Chunfeng's body respectively. After fusing with the dragon power formed by the Azure Dragon, the two-headed Blood Dragon King became even more terrifying. Its divine beast aura became even more intense and was infinitely close to a level 7 heavenly beast. Yi Chunfeng's soul power was almost overflowing, and he could break through to the level 4 Defiant Beast King realm at any time. The 8-layer space. I wonder if there will be a 9-layer space. Yi Chunfeng muttered to himself and quickly sat on the ground, silently adjusting his breath to recover the soul power that he had consumed. At this time, 2 spatial stairs appeared in the 8-layer space, and a mysterious message was transmitted into his mind. 2 stairs, one leads directly to the Dragon Abyss, and the other leads to the 9-layer space. After obtaining the information of the 2 spatial passages, Yi Chunfeng opened his eyes and did not hesitate to choose the stairs that led to the 9-layer space. He arrived at a space filled with mountain-like spatial pressure. This is the Dragon Blood Battle God. After entering the 9-layer space, Yi Chunfeng saw a 5-meter-tall Dragon Blood Battle God with an abnormally strong body. It was wearing scarlet battle armor and holding a dragon head blade. It had a sinister dragon head and was in a half-human, half-dragon form. From the aura emitted by the Dragon Blood Battle God, its strength had reached the level 2 Beast Emperor level. It was a great threat to Yi Chunfeng. Persevere for 5 minutes and pass the test. You will be rewarded. Losers will die. The Dragon Blood Battle God opened its bell-sized eyes and shot a terrifying light at Yi Chunfeng, speaking in a deep voice. Come. Although the 9-layer spaces test was very difficult, Yi Chunfeng was not afraid. Furthermore, he did not only want to pass the test, he also wanted to directly kill the Dragon Blood Battle God and obtain more rewards. Two-headed Blood Dragon King, fusion, beast soul form. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng instantly fused with the two-headed Blood Dragon King, transforming into a half-human, half-dragon beast soul form. For a short time, He possessed the strength of a level 1 beast emperor. He was racing against time to attack the dragon blood battle god. Ha! Yi Chunfeng turned into an afterimage and attacked. The dragon blood battle god suddenly took a step forward, crushing the ground beneath its feet. The dragon blood battle god raised its blade and slashed at Yi Chunfeng. 5 million Jin burst. Yi Chunfeng's 4 great spirit pearls erupted with power. He raised his king armament to meet the dragon blood battle god's blade head-on. When the two divine weapons collided, an earth-shattering shockwave burst out, forming dense energy ripples, shaking the space and causing water ripples to appear. Gotcha! This strike from the dragon-blooded war god contained close to 20 million kilograms of force. It instantly suppressed Yi Chunfeng and forced his legs into the hard ground. The blood and qi in his body roiled violently. Wrath of divine punishment. Yi Chunfeng forcibly withstood the destructive energy from the dragon blood battle god's blade. Extreme ancient heavenly lightning, black flame heavenly fire, and extreme ancient heavenly water surged out of his body and quickly gathered to form the wrath of divine punishment. It bombarded the dragon blood battle god's body at close range. The terrifying explosive energy was like a berserk tsunami, frantically destroying the dragon blood battle god's body. The dragon blood battle god was forced to retreat step by step, leaving deep footprints on the hard ground. Flying immortal sword. After releasing the wrath of divine punishment to force the dragon blood battle god back, Yi Chunfeng forcibly suppressed the surging blood and qi in his body. He raised his Dao intent to the peak and slashed out a meteor-like sword light. It cut through space and slashed the dragon blood battle god's body at an astonishing speed. It broke through the blood-colored armor and injured the dragon blood battle god's body. Dragon blood ignition. The dragon blood battle god's body was injured, and he was completely enraged. He roared furiously, and the dragon blood in his body burned. He raised his strength to the maximum and slashed at Yi Chunfeng with the dragon blood battle god's blade. God-demon bloodline ignition, God-demon body. The strongest dragon blood battle god slashed over aggressively. Yi Chunfeng did not hesitate to ignite his god-demon bloodline and transform into his strongest god-demon body. He took out the Emperor's sky-broken sword and faced the dragon blood battle god head-on. Boom! The two unstoppable people collided once again. An earth-shattering power erupted in the ninefold space, and their auras soared into the galaxy. The terrifying energy swept through heaven and earth, and the two of them fought intensely in this destructive storm. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Collect button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 582. There is still 15 minutes left. I have to kill him in the remaining time. Otherwise, I might miss out on the most precious reward. Yi Chunfeng fought with the dragon blood battle god in the annihilation storm for a few hours. Not only did he not injure the dragon blood battle god, but he was also suppressed by the dragon blood battle god's ferocious attacks and was forced to retreat. Heaven Dao is heartless. With his attack suppressed, Yi Chunfeng gritted his teeth. He took a risk and condensed 8 heavenly Dao marks, which transformed into a terrifying heavenly might. It was like a tumbling sea, but it was also like moving mountains and overturning seas. It easily shattered the dragon-patterned saber light from the dragon blood war god and heavily smashed into his strong body. Gotcha! After receiving the heaven's prowess attack from the 8 heaven Dao patterns, the dragon blood battle god's blood-red battle armor cracked again. The terrifying heaven Dao power crazily rushed into his body and destroyed his physical body. Mystic Underworld Extreme Dao. The dragon blood battle god was injured. Yi Chunfeng ignored the injuries on his body caused by the heaven Dao patterns. The illusion Dao pattern, heaven Dao pattern, sword Dao pattern, and Thunder Dao pattern rushed out of his body and evolved into the mystic underworld extreme Dao power. It was like a violent dragon that bombarded the dragon blood battle god. The mystic underworld extreme Dao was known as the #1 Dao technique in the Western continent. It was extremely powerful. The more Dao intense fused with the mystic underworld extreme Dao, the more powerful it was. Boom! The profound underworld ultimate Dao, which had fused 4 Dao intense, smashed into the dragon blood wargod's body. The terrifying power of the attack once again shattered the dragon blood wargod's blood-red armor, destroying his body and greatly weakening his attack power. After suffering continuous injuries, the dragon blood battle god's injuries were getting worse. Yi Chunfeng didn't give him a chance to breathe. His body flashed slightly and drew an afterimage in midair. As he approached the dragon blood battle god, he executed the 5th move of the 7 Swords of Judgment. 7 Swords of Judgment, Sky Collapse. The sword slashed across heaven and earth. The terrifying Sky Collapse sword carried endless destructive power and tore the sky apart. It slashed at the dragon blood battle god who couldn't dodge at all. For a moment, the sky changed color and thunder roared. The sky-shattering sword, which looked like a crack in space, slashed the dragon blood war god's body and cut off his strong arm. When the arm of the dragon blood war god was chopped off, it immediately shattered and turned into a strand of pure dragon power that fused into Yi Chunfeng's body. Not only did it recover the soul force he had expended, it also increased his strength. Ao. After losing his left arm, the dragon blood war god let out an uncontrollable roar of rage. He fell into a state of madness. Unfortunately, he was heavily injured and had lost his left arm. His battle prowess was greatly reduced. He was no longer a threat to Yi Chunfeng. Great Sun Skyfire Fist. Yi Chunfeng wielded the Broken Emperor Sky Sword and blocked the Dragon Blood War God's Dragon Head Saber. The black flames Skyfire and the Fire Dao pattern immediately poured into his left fist. He rushed towards the Dragon Blood War God's bloody chest and blasted out a fist light that was like the sun, continuing to destroy his body. Under Yi Chunfeng's tide-like attacks, each wave stronger than the last, the Dragon Blood War God's injuries kept on worsening. His chest was penetrated by the Great Sun Skyfire Fist, and blood was dripping. Human, take my final attack. Unable to block Yi Chunfeng's ferocious attacks, the Dragon Blood War God let out a shaky voice. His entire body was burning, and the draconic blood in his body was also boiling like boiling water. Dragon Slash. The Dragon Blood War God roared, and his burning body suddenly exploded. The surging power of blood was like a tide that rushed towards the sky. It turned into a dragon-shaped saber that was more than 30 meters long and slashed towards Yi Chunfeng like mercury. 20 million kilograms of force explode. 7 Swords of Judgment, Heaven Collapsing. The Dragon Blood War God launched its final attack, and Yi Chunfeng immediately used his strongest attack to meet it. Boom! Dragon Slash and Heaven Collapsing collided, and a thunderous explosion rang out in the air. The red and white energies merged together and surged in all directions like a tide. The terrifying destructive power raised the 9th space to the ground, and crisscrossing cracks appeared on the ground. PFFF. Yi Chunfeng was also heavily injured by the Dragon Blood War God's final attack. A large amount of blood sprayed out of his mouth, and his entire body was sent flying 1,000 meters away. If Yi Chunfeng hadn't transformed into his fiend god body, and his body was comparable to a top-grade celestial artifact, this attack would have been enough to destroy his body. Just as Yi Chunfeng was heavily injured and lying on the ground, gasping for breath, 5 strands of dragon force flew over at an extremely fast speed and entered his body. In an instant, the soul power in his body overflowed, allowing the 2-headed blood dragon king to reach the limit of its realm. It's full. My soul force is finally full. My foundation can't be broken. Sensing the changes in his body, Yi Chunfeng forced himself to sit up. He wanted to break through the bottleneck and become a fourth-rank reverse beast king in one go. Yes, that's dragon blood. When Yi Chunfeng sat up, he saw a drop of dragon blood floating in the air through the gradually dissipating destructive storm. He raised his eyebrows, revealing a pleasantly surprised expression. Looks like this drop of dragon blood is the reward for perfectly passing the trial. I wonder if my dragon bloodline will increase after merging with this drop of dragon blood. Yi Chunfeng's body flickered, and he arrived next to the drop of dragon blood. He swallowed it and began to rapidly refine it. While Yi Chunfeng was refining the dragon blood in the 9th space, Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wang, and the others appeared in the 8th space. They were fighting the terrifying Azure Dragon in the 8th space. After nearly 2 hours of fighting, Yu Zhongtian's group of 3 relied on their strength and trump cards to kill the Azure Dragon, obtaining 2 strands of precious draconic energy. Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu, who had been stuck at the half-step combat Beast Emperor realm for several years, broke through their bottleneck and became first-rank combat Beast Emperors. Breaking through to the rank 1 combat Beast Emperor realm so quickly made them wild with joy. They were even more eager and looking forward to the great opportunity in the Dragon Abyss. Yi Chunfeng, the opportunity in the Dragon Abyss will definitely be ours. With my and Bingyu's strength, we'll definitely be able to kill you. Breaking through to the rank 1 combat Beast Emperor realm allowed Yu Zhongtian to regain his confidence. He believed that if he joined hands with Yu Bingyu, in addition to the trump cards he had, they would definitely be able to kill Yi Chunfeng and obtain the greatest opportunity in the Dragon Abyss. But he had forgotten that if they could break through, so could Yi Chunfeng. Furthermore, Yi Chunfeng's opportunity in the Dragon Abyss far surpassed theirs. 4th rank Reverse Beast King breakthrough. After about an incense stick's worth of time, a powerful aura was emitted from Yi Chunfeng's body, causing ripples to appear in the space around him. With the help of the powerful draconic energy, Yi Chunfeng broke through to the 4th rank Reverse Beast King realm. His physical strength increased by 2 million gene, and the dual-headed Blood Dragon King also evolved into a 7th rank Heavenly Beast. Draconic Bloodline Evolve. The instant Yi Chunfeng broke through, he merged with the draconic blood. Yi Chunfeng's draconic bloodline successfully evolved, reaching the 4th rank. Once it was ignited, it could instantly increase Yi Chunfeng's soul power by 3 times. It's time to leave this place. With his strength increased, Yi Chunfeng did not stay in the 9-layered space for long. His body flashed, and he disappeared through the spatial staircase. He was the first to enter the real Dragon Abyss. Cotton Tang latest update mobile reading site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 583. So beautiful. So this is the Dragon Abyss. After passing through the 9 layers of space, Yi Chunfeng realized that he had arrived at a picturesque place that looked like a paradise. The sky was twinkling with blazing stars, and there were towering mountains that extended endlessly. The mountains were filled with strange flowers, strange trees, and rare treasures. Between the mountains, there were countless waterfalls that poured down like the Milky Way descending from the 9 heavens. There was a surge of white mist that drifted with the wind. And that is the ardent sun spirit flower. After taking a few steps, Yi Chunfeng discovered an intense sun spirit flower that was more than half a meter tall. Its flowers were like the blazing sun, giving off a scorching light under a huge tree that was several tens of meters tall with lush leaves and mysterious fruits. The ardent sun spirit flower's value was even more precious than ordinary heaven-class soul elixirs. If it was consumed by a spirit fish, it could increase its strength. And something is wrong. There is something wrong with this ardent sun spirit flower. Just as Yi Chunfeng was approaching the ardent sun spirit flower, His sharp senses detected a problem. He immediately stopped and closed his eyes, controlling the power of the God-Eater brain to radiate out. Power of death. When the God-Eater brain released its soul power into the ardent sun spirit flower, it sensed the power of death in the flower. If it blindly plucked the ardent sun spirit flower, it might be injured by the power of death. It wasn't just this ardent sun spirit flower that had a problem. Yi Chunfeng realized that the picturesque scenery in front of him was also problematic. Interesting. The extremity of death is life. This beautiful scenery is actually evolved from the extremity of death. This dragon abyss is just like the Death Valley and is actually a place of great calamity. With the God-Eater brain's deduction, Yi Chunfeng discovered the secret of the dragon abyss periphery and became alert. Life Dao pattern break. Yi Chunfeng quickly made his move. The moment he grabbed the ardent sun spirit flower, 10 life Dao patterns were injected into the spirit flower and immediately broke the power of death in the spirit flower. Chatter. The moment Yi Chunfeng plucked the ardent sun spirit flower, the roots of the ardent sun spirit flower suddenly echoed with a bone-chilling ghost cry. A legless dead soul suddenly appeared and opened its bloody mouth, biting at Yi Chunfeng. Lion King's roar. Suddenly attacked by the dead souls, Yi Chunfeng did not panic. He quickly released a lion's roar that was as strong as the sun and bombarded the dead souls at close range. After being attacked by the Lion King's roar, the parasitic dead soul in the ardent sun spirit flower did not dissipate. It withstood the terrifying Lion King's roar and continued to attack Yi Chunfeng. He's not dead. Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows and quickly retreated. As he dodged the attack of the dead souls, he threw out a punch. The force of 10 million Jin gushed out and turned into a meteorite-like fist aura. It smashed into the dead souls and shattered them. This dragon abyss is indeed filled with danger. A mere dead soul can actually withstand the attack of the Lion King's roar and not die. Yi Chunfeng found that the dragon abyss was indeed as dangerous as he had imagined. He kept the scorching sun spiritual flower into the universe mirror and gave it to the spiritual fish. Then, he continued to walk into the depths of the fairyland evolved from the extreme death. As he walked, Yi Chunfeng stopped again, and his brows were tightly knitted together. He discovered that he had actually returned to the place where he plucked the ardent sun spiritual flower. Why is it like this? I actually walked one round and came back here again. Yi Chunfeng muttered to himself. He didn't dare to imagine that he was still lost with the God-Eater brain's detection. After walking for over an hour, he turned around again. Seems like I still underestimated this dragon abyss. After getting lost in the dragon abyss, Yi Chunfeng didn't continue to move forward. 40 illusion Dao patterns appeared in his eyes and burst out with rays of illusory light. He wanted to see through the illusory force in front of him and continue moving forward. What a powerful illusory force! When the 40 illusion Dao patterns penetrated into the space in front of him, Yi Chunfeng discovered that the illusory force in the dragon abyss was beyond his imagination. Even the 4th-level illusion Dao intent was unable to break it open. Seems like I can only rely on the God-Eater brain. After failing to see through the illusion Dao intent, Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and sat cross-legged on the ground. He closed his eyes and controlled the God-Eater brain's power to radiate out. It deduced the illusory force in the space and looked for a way forward. As the God-Eater brain deduced over and over again, the twinkling stars in the sky gradually dimmed. The entire world turned gray, and a bone-chilling ghost cry suddenly rang out. It entered Yi Chunfeng's ears and interrupted it. Sword puppet, quickly come out and help me. Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul spirit felt that a large number of dead souls were approaching him. He immediately summoned the sword puppet and fused the soul crystals he obtained from killing Mo Longyuan and the others into the sword puppet's body. He ordered the sword puppet to protect him. As for the chaos divine beasts, the golden clear dragon blood lion and the spirit fish, Because they did not have dragon aura, they were restrained by the dragon abyss. Yi Chunfeng did not take the risk to summon them out to help. After losing the power of the sky crystal, the sword puppet's strength was greatly reduced. However, it relied on its indestructible body and easily blocked the attacks of a large number of dead souls. It firmly guarded Yi Chunfeng and did not give the dead souls a chance to attack him. 8. Killing Azura Art condensed the aura of death. After suffering the ferocious attacks of the sword puppet, a large number of dead souls were killed and turned into an aura of death. At this time, Yi Chunfeng circulated the 8 Killing Azura Art and condensed 5 Killing Halos. He frantically devoured the aura of death and used all his strength to condense the 6th Killing Halo. Kacha, right at this time, a crisp sound of space cracking rang out. Mo Wuang, who was wearing a black martial arts suit, had a chiseled face, a tall figure, and an extraordinary bearing, was the second to appear in the dragon abyss. When Mo Wuang saw Yi Chunfeng surrounded by a large number of dead souls, his pupils immediately shrank into the most dangerous pinholes. After fusing with a large amount of dragon force, although he had broken through to the half-step combat beast emperor realm, when he thought of how Yi Chunfeng had fought against Mo Qianli, the demonic Taoist, and the others, as well as how he had broken through Mo Fengyun's blockade, he still felt apprehensive. Mo Wuang had discovered Yi Chunfeng, and Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul had also discovered him. However, Mo Wuang did not approach on his own accord. Yi Chunfeng also did not take the initiative to attack. Under the protection of the sword puppet, Mo Wuang sat on the ground in silence and continued to control the God-Eater brain. After a while, the dead souls surrounding Yi Chunfeng and the sword puppet discovered Mo Wuang. They howled as they attacked him, greatly reducing the pressure on the sword puppet. 100 Battles Blood Shadow. Facing the ferocious dead souls, Mo Wuang split out a large number of blood shadows and fiercely counterattacked, killing one dead soul after another. Kacha Kacha. At this time, 2 more spatial cracks rang out. Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu, who had broken through to the rank 1 combat beast emperor realm, walked out of the spatial cracks and entered the dragon abyss. It's him. Seeing Yi Chunfeng sitting cross-legged in the distance, Yu Zhongtian's eyes flashed with a ruthless light. After pondering for a while, he transmitted to Mo Wuang, how about the 3 of us work together to eliminate that Yi Chunfeng first? This, hearing Yu Zhongtian's suggestion, Mo Wuang frowned slightly, revealing a trace of hesitation. Now is the best time to eliminate him. Once he obtains the opportunity in the dragon abyss and increases his strength, it will be difficult for us to eliminate him again. Furthermore, if we work together, even if we can't defeat him, we can still protect ourselves. In order to increase the success rate of killing Yi Chunfeng, Yu Zhongtian continued to tempt them. All right, then let's work together and kill him with all our strength. Under Yu Zhongtian's persuasion, Mo Wuang finally agreed to work together with them. They wanted to use this opportunity to kill Yi Chunfeng with all their strength to prevent future troubles. Nothing is wrong with Cotton. Latest update mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the bookmark button below to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 584. What? You guys can't help but want to make a move? Yi Chunfeng opened his eyes when he felt the killing intent from Yu Zhongtian and the other 2. He looked at them from afar and said with a calm tone, Yi Chunfeng, today, let the 3 of us have a taste of your true abilities. As he spoke, a demonic tiger appeared from Yu Zhongtian's body. A terrifying tiger's roar swept through the surroundings, causing the dead souls to be unable to approach him. Yu Zhongtian summoned his spirit beast. The instant his strength skyrocketed, the frosty Yu Bingyu, who exuded a wild beauty, and the imposing Mo Wuang also fused with their spirit beasts, greatly increasing their strength as they attacked Yi Chunfeng. Breaking through to the first-grade combat Beast Emperor realm gave you so much confidence. Unfortunately, you are destined to be losers. Yu Zhongtian and the other two attacked. The double-headed Blood Dragon King, a level 7 heavenly beast, appeared on Yi Qinfeng's body. Its two ferocious dragon heads opened their bloody mouths and roared at the three of them. Demonic blood seal. The dragon's roar resounded. Mo Wuang, who was at the front, quickly formed seals with his hands, forming a scarlet-red demonic blood seal that weighed over 10,000 jin. It smashed into the double-headed Blood Dragon King's roar. Heavenly Demon Dance Art, Heavenly Moon Shadow. The instant Mo Wuang broke the dragon's roar, Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu both executed the Heavenly Demon Dance Art, forming a Demon King Phantom to increase their strength. At the same time, a black moon shadow that was over 30 meters tall descended from the sky, slashing at Yi Chunfeng with astonishing speed. Dragon Bloodline, Ignite, Beast Soul Form. Feeling the destructive demonic energy from the heavenly moon shadow, Yi Chunfeng didn't dare to be careless. As expected, he ignited his fourth-grade dragon bloodline, increasing his soul power by 3-fold. He transformed into a half-human half-dragon beast soul form, wielding his king weapon to meet the attack. Flame Dragon exterminates the world, 9 dragons sword slash. With a slash, 40 sword Dao patterns turned into 9 flame dragons bearing their fangs and brandishing their claws. They twisted their huge bodies and collided with the 2 heavenly moon shadows, forcibly breaking the attacks of Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu. Myriad Transformations Black Lotus. Mo Wuang seized the opportunity when Yi Chunfeng was fighting Yi Chunfeng and Yu Zhongtian head-on to unleash his Dao of Darkness and Dao of Shadow, which transformed into a slowly blooming black lotus. It flickered with a black light as it shot towards Yi Chunfeng with extreme speed. Wrath of God's Punishment. When the Myriad Transformations Black Lotus shot over, Yi Chunfeng decisively summoned his 3 great heavenly spirits and condensed a tricolored energy ball to collide with it. Boom! A thunderous voice exploded, shaking the heavens and the earth. The tricolor heavenly spirit that blotted out the sky and earth collided with the black demon Qi. Like a roiling sea, it swept out in all directions, instantly crushing a large number of dead souls and interrupting Yu Zhongtian and Yu Zhongtian's continuous attacks. Heavenly fire, heavenly thunder, heavenly water, just where did he get so many unparalleled opportunities? Forget about subduing a heavenly spirit like this, it's normally hard to even see one. Seeing the 3 heavenly spirits summoned by Yi Chunfeng, Yu Zhongtian could not help but be moved. 100 Battles Blood Shadow. The destructive energy that engulfed the heavens and earth grew even more intense. Mo Wuang's Dao of Darkness and Dao of Shadow erupted once more, forming blood shadows of different shapes and sizes. They wielded all kinds of weapons, and they pierced through the destructive storm, continuing to attack Yi Chunfeng, increasing the pressure on him. Great Sun Heavenly Fire Fist. Hundreds of blood-colored battle shadows attacked, and Yi Chunfeng continued to face them with all his might. The terrifying scorching sun fist aura carried an unparalleled destructive power as it left a red light several feet long in the air, continuously shattering the blood-colored battle shadows. Ghost God Claw. 10,000 Silent Millstone. Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu attacked at the same time, using mid-grade Dao skills to attack Yi Chunfeng. They did not give him the slightest chance to catch his breath. At the critical moment, the sword puppet that had yet to attack suddenly appeared beside Yi Chunfeng, using its indestructible body to block the 10,000 Silent Millstone. 7 Swords of Judgment, Thunder Devour. The instant the sword puppet blocked, sword-type and lightning-type Dao patterns flew out. Yi Chunfeng's body condensed into a giant sword of lightning, creating a whirlpool of lightning. It shattered the ghost god claw that tore through the void and attacked Yu Bingyu, whose expression had changed slightly. Ice-type Dao pattern, 10 layers of defense. The Thunder Devourer ferociously attacked, and Yu Bingyu immediately controlled 25 ice-type Dao patterns to gather in front of her, forming 10 layers of defense to block the Thunder Devour. Kill. While Yi Chunfeng was attacking Yu Bingyu with all his strength, Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wuang continued to attack. The three of them worked together, intending to kill Yi Chunfeng under the dark night sky. Although the three of them worked together to attack fiercely, the sword puppet neutralized most of the attacks, making it impossible for them to injure Yi Chunfeng. Massacre 4th Style, Eternal Night. Just as the sword puppet used its body to block Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wuang's all-out attack, Yi Chunfeng condensed 5 killing halos and slashed the Eternal Night sword light at Yu Bingyu. A pitch-black sword light soared into the 9 heavens, fused with the power of massacre and 12 million kilograms of force. It was as if it wanted to split the heavens and earth apart as it slashed at the 10 layers of defense. In that instant, the world turned pitch black, and all the light was swallowed by the Eternal Night sword light. All that was left was that unparalleled divine sword that could split the heavens and earth. Kacha, the terrifying Eternal Night sword light broke through Yu Bingyu's attack and ruthlessly slashed at her. Beast Soul Form. At the critical moment, Yu Bingyu forcefully transformed into her beast soul form, which she was still not familiar with. It greatly increased her strength and defense, using all her strength to block the Eternal Night sword light. Boom! Yu Bingyu's defense was broken, and the terrifying Eternal Night sword light ruthlessly slashed at her body, sending her flying. Large amounts of blood flowed from her body. Bingyu. Yu Zhongtian hadn't expected that Yu Bingyu would still be injured by Yi Chunfeng despite being attacked by the three of them. His confidence took a hit, and he raised the Earth Splitter Spear, wanting to continue attacking. What, you still want to attack? After injuring Yu Bingyu, Yi Chunfeng didn't press the advantage. Looking at the sinister Yu Zhongtian, he icily said, "If you attack again, don't blame me for using my trump cards and going all out to kill you." After saying that, the Quasi-Dao treasure Vermilion Bird Cauldron flew out of Yi Chunfeng's body and revolved around his head, releasing boundless energy that illuminated the pitch-black space. Zhongtian, now isn't the time to go all out against him. Although Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu also had their own trump cards, when they thought of the Vermilion Bird Cauldron's destructive power, they still had some misgivings. In the end, under Yu Bingyu's persuasion, the unwilling Yu Zhongtian didn't blindly use his trump cards and forcibly suppressed his fury. As for Mo Wuang, he didn't bring out the blood skull as he stood coldly to the side. Seeing that Yu Zhongtian and the other two had stopped, Yi Chunfeng, who was also a little apprehensive about their trump cards and did not want to risk his life so early, stored the sword puppet into the universal mirror. His body flashed slightly as he melded into the night. Following the path deduced by the God-Eater brain, he advanced into the depths of the Dragon Abyss. Not long after Yi Chunfeng left, Mo Qianxin, Ying, and the others also entered the Dragon Abyss. But what no one had expected was that Mo Qianxin, who had kept a low profile, had killed the Dragonblood War God in the Ninefold space. Not only had he broken through to become a level 6 Defiant Beast King, but he had also refined the precious dragon blood. Begging for red envelopes, nothing wrong with cotton. Soonest update mobile reading site. Book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. The next time you open the bookshelf, you can see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 585. Boss, why didn't you use all your strength to kill one of them? With your current strength and foundation, it shouldn't be difficult to kill one of them, right? After Yi Chunfeng left, the Chaos Divine Beast in the Chaos Divine Wood transmitted a message to Yi Chunfeng. They are all people with great providence, especially Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu. They must have some powerful trump cards that we don't know about. If I really went all out, I might not be able to kill them. As for Mo Wuang, he is also not to be underestimated. Therefore, I don't want to go all out with them until the last moment. Yi Chunfeng voiced out his concerns. That's right. Now is not the time to go all out. Once we obtain some opportunities in this dragon abyss and increase our strength, it will be easy to kill them. The Chaos Divine Beast said. According to the route that the God-Eater brain deduced, Yi Chunfeng meandered through the dragon abyss, passing through layers of illusions. As the stars in the sky grew brighter, he entered a beautiful valley with blooming flowers. There is a problem. This valley is dangerous. After walking into the beautiful valley, Yi Chunfeng's sharp senses detected a dense aura of danger. When he injected 40 illusion Dao patterns into his eyes, the valley in front of him vanished and was replaced by a desolate, deathly still, and desolate land that gave off an extremely oppressive feeling. In the depths of this desolate land, there was a faint black aura flowing slowly. This dragon abyss is much more complicated than I imagined. After understanding the truth of this fairy-like valley, Yi Chunfeng felt that there was a great danger and crisis hidden in it. He sat cross-legged at the entrance of the valley and controlled the God-Eater brain's power to radiate into the valley to deduce the situation and find a relatively safe path. Just as Yi Chunfeng was deducing over and over again, his sharp senses detected the appearance of more than 10 powerful auras. They came so quickly. It seems like they should have a rare artifact that can break illusions, otherwise they wouldn't have appeared here so quickly. After sensing the auras of Yu Zhongtian, Yu Bingyu, and the rest, Yi Chunfeng raised his brows slightly. However, he didn't open his eyes and treated them as air. Could it be that this valley is dangerous? Looking at Yi Chunfeng, who was sitting at the entrance of the valley, Yu Zhongtian's brows furrowed tightly. He released a powerful soul force into the valley to investigate the situation of this seemingly harmless valley with its bird song and fragrance of flowers. Although Yu Zhongtian's strength was strong, his soul was far inferior to Yi Chunfeng's. Even after sensing it several times, he still couldn't sense anything strange about this valley. 10,000-year-old blood ginseng king. That's a 10,000-year-old blood ginseng king. Just as Yu Zhongtian, Yu Bingyu, Mo Wuang, and the others closed their eyes and tried to sense the valley, the genius of the Yu family, Yu Yenguang, who had just become a 4th-level beast king after fusing with a large amount of dragon energy, discovered a blood-colored plant that was as thick as a child's arm. It had over 1,000 pearl-like beads, and it exuded dense spiritual energy. His eyes lit up. In the next moment, Yu Yenguang rushed toward the 10,000-year-old blood ginseng king before everyone could react. He wanted to obtain the 10,000-year-old blood ginseng king, which was one of the important materials for refining pseudo-Dao pills. Don't touch that 10,000-year-old blood ginseng king. Yi Chunfeng, who was in the middle of a high-speed deduction in the God-Eater brain, suddenly opened his eyes and reminded Yi Chunfeng in a deep voice as the dim light rushed towards the 10,000-year-old blood ginseng king. However, Yu Yenguang ignored Yi Chunfeng's warning. He grabbed the leaves of the 10,000-year-old blood ginseng king and wanted to pull it out from the ground. Just at this moment, a strange phenomenon occurred. Mournful cries came from underground and entered Yu Yenguang's mind, causing him to pause for a moment. Following that, a green ghost hand broke through the ground and stabbed into Yu Yenguang's chest like a sharp blade, grabbing his heart. The intense pain caused Yu Yenguang to instantly wake up. 2 Dao intents surged out of his body and attacked the ghost hand. He wanted to shatter the ghost hand that was grabbing his heart. Unfortunately, his reaction was a bit too slow. While he was condensing his Dao intents, the ghost hand exerted strength and directly crushed his heart. A large amount of blood spurted out of his chest. After his heart was crushed by the ghost hand, the despairing Yu Yenguang let out a painful howl and punched at the ghost hand. Boom! The ghost hand that crushed his heart instantly shattered. The terrifying force blasted a deep hole in the hard ground, revealing a blood-red, 4-legged, human-like strange plant hidden deep in the ground. After revealing its true form, this blood-red plant immediately extended a large number of blood-red roots and wrapped around Yu Yanguang's bleeding body, pulling him into the hole. Following that, a series of tragic wails rang out from the pit. When Yu Zhongtian and the others with ugly expressions appeared at the pit, all of Yu Yanguang's flesh and blood had been devoured by this strange plant, turning him into a skeleton. "I'll kill you!" Seeing the death of Yu Yanguang, who grew up and cultivated with him, a surge of baleful aura emanated from Yu Yiheng's body. He wielded the mid-grade heaven artifact, Dark Spear, and pierced towards the blood-red plant. After passing multiple spatial tests, Yu Yiheng, who had fused with a large amount of dragon power, broke through to the rank 6 Reverse Beast King realm. His all-out attack was extremely powerful, but when it struck the blood-red plant, the unstoppable Dark Spear was unable to pierce through it. This made him reveal an expression of disbelief. He was shocked by the defensive power of this blood-red plant. Screech! After being attacked by Yu Yiheng, this blood-red plant let out a hair-raising wail. It congealed a large number of roots and wrapped around Yu Yiheng, wanting to devour his blood. Dark Tao pattern break. The densely packed blood-colored roots twined over, and the enraged Yu Yiheng immediately used the Tao pattern of darkness. He brandished the dark spear to shatter the blood-colored roots and pierced into the blood-colored plant like a hot knife through butter. However, the moment the blood-red plant was sliced apart by Yu Yiheng, a malevolent skull flew out from the blood-red plant. It opened its bloody mouth and bit towards Yu Yiheng's head. The skull's attack was very sudden, but Yu Yiheng's reaction was even faster. He quickly pressed down with his left hand and executed a low-grade Dao technique, Extreme Water and Dark Dao technique. The powerful dual Dao intents immediately shattered the skull. "Damn it, what exactly is this thing?" Looking at the blood-red plant that was quickly turning into a viscous liquid, Yu Yiheng cursed with lingering fear. If it wasn't for his quick reaction, he might have followed in Yu Yanguang's footstep. Just as the blood-colored plant was killed by the enraged Yu Yiheng, another phenomenon occurred. Strange flowers bloomed one after another, emitting a strange fragrance. They broke through the hard ground and bloomed around Yu Yiheng and the others, completely surrounding them. Smelling the strange fragrance of the black flowers and looking at their beautiful buds, Yu Zhongtian and the others' breathing became heavy. The killing intent in their bodies was slowly being stimulated. Something is wrong with these flowers. We have to leave this place as soon as possible. Feeling that something was strange, Yu Zhongtian and the others suppressed their killing intent and wanted to quickly leave. But at this time, a large amount of black strands suddenly shot out of the flower bud. They filled the sky and quickly attacked Yu Zhongtian and the others, trapping them. "This is death energy." Yi Chenfeng's eyes flickered with an illusion Dao intent. His god-devouring brain was rapidly deducing the secrets of these black flowers. These black flowers were condensed from the Dragon Abyss's death energy. The death of the blood-colored plant had awakened the power of death hidden underground, causing it to transform into strange flowers of death and launch deadly attacks at Yu Zhongtian, Yu Yiheng, and the others. Nothing is wrong with cotton. Latest update mobile reading site. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click the bookmark button below to record this book. You will see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 586. Silent Millstone. Yu Zhongtian did not hesitate to use the extremely destructive Silent Millstone. It revolved above his head, distorting space and crushing the incoming death energy. "Come, let's leave this place." Yu Zhongtian used his own strength to block the attack of the death flowers. Mo Wuang and the rest immediately took action, using all their skills to attack the blooming death flowers, wanting to leave this place as soon as possible. Bang! 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 Under the ferocious attacks of Mo Wuang and the rest, large patches of death flowers turned to ash. Just as Mo Wuang and the rest were about to break out of the encirclement, black bamboo that looked like the tentacles of an octopus suddenly drilled out from the ground, forming a prison of death. It wanted to trap Emoowang and the rest and devour their flesh and blood. Black heavenly flames burn. While Emoowang and the rest were trapped, Yi Chunfeng, who was sitting cross-legged at the entrance of the valley, suddenly soared into the sky. Scorching black heavenly flames surged out, transforming into a fire dragon that burned the black bamboo formed by the death energy. The heavenly flames were the nemesis of the death energy. After being burned by the black heavenly flames, the black bamboo that rose from the ground immediately turned to ash, revealing a huge gap. Go! Although Yu Zhongtian and the rest did not understand why Yi Chunfeng would help them at such a crucial moment, they did not have the time to think too much about it. They quickly passed through the gap and appeared outside. Follow me if you don't want to die. Yu Zhongtian and the rest walked out in a single file. Yi Chunfeng roared and led them to the right side of the valley entrance, towards the cliff filled with small red flowers. What is he trying to do? Seeing Yi Chunfeng charging towards the cliff without slowing down, Yu Zhongtian and the rest, who were following closely behind, had a change in expression. They slowed down slightly. However, in the next moment, Yi Chunfeng crashed into the cliff, causing ripples of energy to appear on the surface of the cliff before disappearing. Illusion. This cliff is formed by an illusion. Seeing Yi Chunfeng crash into the cliff and disappear without any resistance, Yu Zhongtian and the others did not hesitate. They all crashed into the cliff, leaving the entrance of the valley filled with flowers of death. They arrived at a crimson forest that was filled with strangeness and had an abnormally complicated terrain. Roar! Roar! Yi Chunfeng and the rest had just entered this scarlet forest when deafening and abnormally terrifying beast roars rang out from the depths of the forest, causing the scarlet clouds in the sky to churn violently. The ground also trembled. Yi Chunfeng, why did you help us just now? Hearing the beast roars from afar, Yu Zhongtian's face changed, and looked at Yi Chunfeng and asked, I think all of you should have realized that the dragon abyss is far more complicated and dangerous than we imagined. I feel that we should temporarily put aside our grudges and work together against a common enemy. Only then can we possibly leave this place alive. As for the fortune in the dragon abyss, how about we fight for it ourselves? Yi Chunfeng slowly turned around, looked at Yu Zhongtian and the others, and suggested. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's suggestion, Yu Zhongtian frowned. Although he wanted to refuse, he knew that cooperating with Yi Chunfeng was truly the best choice. They needed Yi Chunfeng's terrifying strength to deal with all the dangers. I agree. Zi Yun, who was the weakest amongst them and was only a peak third-rank beast king, was the first to speak. He knew that with his strength, he would most likely become cannon fodder and lose his life in the dragon abyss. Yi Chunfeng's participation would greatly increase their overall strength, increasing his chances of survival. I also agree. Unexpectedly, the second to agree was Yi Chunfeng's enemy, Yu Bingyu. After Yu Bingyu expressed her opinion, Ying and He Shiwuji also expressed their agreement. Even the deeply hidden Mo Qianxin didn't refuse and agreed to cooperate with Yi Chunfeng. In the end, other than Mo Wang and Shiluo Mo, who had once been humiliated by Yi Chunfeng, the others all happily accepted Yi Chunfeng. Since no one has any objections, then shouldn't we discuss the details of our cooperation? Choose a leader and let him lead the team. That way we can avoid unnecessary casualties. Yi Chunfeng smiled and suggested. What? You want to be the leader? Mo Wang furrowed his brows slightly as he looked at Yi Chunfeng with enmity in his eyes. I don't care. If you have a good candidate, I'll follow your lead. Yi Chunfeng shrugged. I'll be the leader. Yu Zhongtian glanced at the unfathomable Yi Chunfeng and thought for a moment before recommending himself. Sure, I don't have any objections. Yi Chunfeng was surprisingly cooperative as he readily agreed. Yi Chunfeng didn't have any objections, and neither did Mo Wang and the others. In the end, Yu Zhongtian became the leader of this temporary group. Yu Zhongtian, where do we go next? Yi Chunfeng asked. Do you have any good suggestions? Yu Zhongtian looked at the towering trees in front of him and softly asked. This is also my first time here, and you're the leader. You shouldn't be asking me this question. Yi Chunfeng shook his head. You! Yu Zhongtian glared at Yi Chunfeng and gritted his teeth. He took out a dark golden 8-sided ancient plate and poured a large amount of soul force into it. Immediately, 8 pillars of light shot out from the 8-sided ancient plate and merged into the scarlet forest. Soon, the 8 pillars of light merged into one and pointed to the northwest of the forest. Over there, let's go. With the 8-sided ancient plate leading the way, Yu Zhongtian didn't hesitate and immediately led the group to the northwest. They passed through thick ancient trees and layers of illusions as they quickly entered the depths of the forest. So quiet, why is this forest so quiet? The roars of the mysterious beasts disappeared and the group found that the entire forest was completely silent. There was no movement at all. It was so quiet that it was frightening. As he walked, Yi Chunfeng, who was walking among the crowd, suddenly stopped. His brows were tightly knitted together. What's wrong? Although Yu Zhongtian was the leader, when everyone saw that Yi Chunfeng had stopped in his tracks, they all stopped as well. Ing, who was wearing a mask that covered his true face, asked. Yi Chunfeng opened his eyes and looked into the distance before slowly speaking. I feel that there is danger up ahead, but whether or not to continue forward is up to him. Danger? Yu Zhongtian slightly frowned and whispered, What danger is up ahead? I only have a vague feeling of danger, but I don't know the specifics. Yi Chunfeng shook his head and answered ambiguously. Let's continue forward. If we can't even deal with a normal danger, then how can we compete for the grand fortune in the Dragon Abyss? Yu Zhongtian didn't want to be led by the nose by Yi Chunfeng from the start, and he didn't want him to easily take the lead. After pondering for a moment, he continued forward according to the 8-sided ancient plate. As they walked, ear-piercing sounds rang out. Through the crimson bushes, the group discovered that tens of thousands of crimson bugs had appeared in front of them. They looked like a red cloud dancing in the air. Those are scarlet blood man-devouring mosquitoes. Yu Zhongtian immediately recognized them. They were the scarlet blood man-devouring mosquitoes that should have been extinct in the soul-fighting continent. His expression greatly changed as he stopped. Let's go, we're leaving this place. Thinking that these mosquitoes were enough to kill battle beast kings, Yu Zhongtian decisively wanted to lead the group away from this dangerous place. However, the blood energy emitted from their bodies still alarmed tens of thousands of scarlet blood man-devouring mosquitoes. Like a red tide, the red blood man-devouring mosquitoes flapped their thin wings and flew towards them at an extremely fast speed. Run! Seeing tens of thousands of scarlet blood man-devouring mosquitoes rushing towards them, Yu Zhongtian's expression greatly changed. He didn't hesitate to lead the group into the depths of the scarlet forest. Cotton Tang latest update mobile reading site. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the save button below to record this reading. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 587. Go to the northeast. There seems to be a pool there that can help you avoid these blood mosquitoes. I'll cover your retreat. The scarlet blood man-devouring mosquitoes flew faster and faster. Just as they were about to catch up with the group, Yi Chunfeng exhorted. He suddenly summoned the black flame heavenly fire to envelop himself, then turned around and charged into the swarm of scarlet blood man-devouring mosquitoes. Go to the northeast. Although Yu Zhongtian and the others did not understand why Yi Chunfeng would disregard his own safety to help them block the scarlet blood man-devouring mosquitoes, under the threat of death, they did not have time to think and quickly flew to the northeast. At this time, Yi Chunfeng, who had charged into the scarlet blood man-devouring mosquitoes, summoned his 3 heavenly spirits to protect his body. Borrowing the power of the 3 heavenly spirits, he crazily killed the scarlet blood man devouring mosquitoes. Sword puppet, bring me the spirit item in the scarlet blood mosquito's nest. After fighting for a while, Yi Chunfeng sensed that Yu Zhongtian and the others had already escaped far away. He immediately summoned the indestructible sword puppet and ordered it to charge into the scarlet blood man devouring mosquito's nest. He wanted to pick the spirit item that contained powerful dragon energy that he sensed with his soul. This was also the real reason why he had stayed behind to cover Yu Zhongtian and the others. Whoosh! Upon receiving Yi Chunfeng's order, the sword puppet was like a sword that cut through the scarlet blood man devouring mosquitoes like a hot knife through butter. It tore a huge hole in the scarlet blood man devouring mosquitoes' nest at an extremely fast speed. Yi Chunfeng, who was under great pressure from the scarlet blood man devouring mosquitoes' fierce attacks, did not wait for long. He erupted with 5 million kilograms of strength, and like a meteor, he shattered the scarlet blood man devouring mosquitoes and forcibly broke out of the encirclement. Very quickly, Yi Chunfeng charged out of the scarlet blood man devouring mosquitoes swarm under the protection of the 3 heavenly spirits. He quickly moved through the forest, entangling with tens of thousands of scarlet blood man devouring mosquitoes. About half an incense stick's worth of time later, the scarlet blood man devouring mosquitoes that were chasing relentlessly seemed to sense something. They gave up on chasing Yi Chunfeng and quickly flew away. Got it! Through the senses of the god-eating brain, Yi Chunfeng sensed that the sword puppet had successfully obtained the protection of the red blood man devouring mosquitoes for many years. A blood-red flower the size of a washbasin that contained the power of dragon blood revealed a faint smile. After meeting up with the sword puppet who had broken out of the encirclement, it burned the golden rock bloodline and relied on its absolute speed to escape the pursuit of the red blood man devouring mosquitoes and disappeared into the red forest. Zhongtian, why do you think Yi Chunfeng disregarded his own safety to save us? Yu Bingyu, who was hiding in a quiet pool, asked with a frown. Although they were moved by Yi Chunfeng's sacrifice, for some reason, Yu Bingyu felt that something was wrong. I also don't know what the hell he's doing, Yu Zhongtian said with an ugly expression. He simply couldn't guess that Yi Chunfeng had taken the initiative to bring up the rear in order to pick a dragon blood flower whose value was comparable to a pseudodao core. However, Yi Chunfeng's act of risking his life for a righteous cause had successfully won everyone's favor, shaking Yu Zhongtian's position in their hearts. Yes, he's here. Yi Chunfeng's here. As an assassin, Shadow's soul perception was also not bad. When she felt Yi Chunfeng's aura suddenly appear outside the pool, she immediately broke through the cold water and came to the side of the pool. Are you all right? Shadow looked at the unharmed Yi Chunfeng and asked in a low voice. I'm fine, but I haven't completely shaken off those mosquitoes. We should leave this place as soon as possible. Yi Chunfeng shook his head and smiled at Shadow. Yi Chunfeng, you lead the way. I'll follow you. He Shirtuji, who had fused with a large amount of dragon energy and had broken through to the 6th rank of Reverse Beast King, had been convinced by Yu Bingyu's strength. Hearing He Shirtuji's words, Yu Zhongtian's face immediately turned gloomy as a sharp glint flashed in his eyes. Our leader is Yu Zhongtian. It's better if we follow him. Yi Chunfeng faintly smiled as he looked at the gloomy Yu Zhongtian and slowly said, Humph, let's go east. Yu Zhongtian's cold gaze swept over He Shirtuji and Yi Chunfeng. He took out the 8-sided ancient disc and sensed for a moment before leading everyone to the east of the Scarlet Mountain Forest. Roughly 8 hours later, under the guidance of the 8-sided ancient disc, they passed through a large amount of illusory spaces and dodged the pursuit of a savage heavenly beast. Finally, they flew several thousand meters into the clouds. When they reached the middle of the mountain, they were stunned by the scene in front of them. They discovered that at the bottom of the mountain, there was a valley filled with powerful spirit chi. There were countless spirit beasts growing in that valley. They had never seen most of those spirit beasts before. However, from the spirituality emitted by those spirit beasts, they were all extremely rare heaven-tier spirit beasts. Legend has it that the Dragon Abyss is filled with fortuitous encounters. Now, those rumors are true. Just the number of heaven-tier spirit beasts here is enough to make ordinary combat beast emperors go crazy. Looking at the heaven-tier spirit beasts in the valley, everyone's eyes lit up. Among them, Mo Yuanling and Xie Qingyun ran over excitedly. They wanted to pluck those extremely valuable heaven-tier spirit beasts, so that they could advance to combat Beast Emperor in the future. Don't go over first. When Mo Yuanling and Xie Qingyun rushed over to the heaven-tier spirit beasts, their eyes flickered with illusion Dao intent. Yi Chunfeng, who had his God-Eater brain radiated out, noticed this and shouted at them. However, at this moment, the heaven-tier spirit beasts emitted a strange fragrance that entered their noses and confused their minds. They were unable to hear Yi Chunfeng's warning. Yuanling, come over quickly. When Mo Wang saw that Mo Yuanling was ignoring Yi Chunfeng, he also noticed the abnormality. A powerful sound wave shot out from his mouth and exploded in Mo Yuanling's ears like thunder. Mo Wang's roar was extremely terrifying, but it was still unable to wake up the two who had inhaled the strange fragrance. The two of them were like two walking corpses as they walked step by step into the valley. Yi Chunfeng, do you have any way to wake them up? When Mo Wang saw that his sound wave was unable to wake them up, he immediately looked at Yi Chunfeng and asked in a low voice. I don't have any way. Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said, I'll go and pull them over. In order to maintain his prestige in everyone's hearts, Yu Zhongtian gritted his teeth and leaped into the air. He flew towards Mo Yuanling and Xie Qingyun like a large bird. Just as Yu Zhongtian was approaching Mo Yuanling and Xie Qingyun and was about to gather his soul power to forcefully pull them over, the heaven-tier spirit beasts covering the valley suddenly burst into flames without any warning. The scorching heat caused the entire valley to distort. Mournful and painful cries rang out as Mo Yuanling and Xie Qingyun's legs started to burn after being burned by the scarlet flames. The immense pain instantly woke them up from their stupor. Save us! When Mo Yuanling and Xie Qingyun discovered that their legs had been burned to ashes, they immediately cried out in fear towards Yu Zhongtian. Hearing their cries for help, not only did Yu Zhongtian not make a move to save them, but he also flew higher and higher. He could smell a dense, dangerous aura from the scarlet flames that was enough to threaten his life. This spiritual land is formed by the power of death. Yi Chunfeng's god-devouring brain quickly deduced the truth of this burning spiritual land. This spiritual land did not really exist, but was formed by the power of death. In just 3 breaths, the wailing Mo Yuanling and Xie Qingyun were burned to ashes by the scarlet flames, dissipating from the world. In the next instant, the scarlet flames burned even more fiercely. The flames instantly grew to a height of several hundred meters and burned towards Yu Zhongtian, whose expression had changed greatly. Death flames, these flames are the death flames formed by the power of death over countless years. Seeing the scarlet flames burning higher and dyeing the sky red, Yi Chunfeng's expression changed greatly. He discovered that these flames were actually the death flames. Not only was the power of the flames shocking, but they could also extinguish the flames of life. Quickly leave, don't get trapped by these flames, or we might be in danger. When Yi Chunfeng saw the death flames chasing after Yu Zhongtian, he immediately led everyone back the way they had come. However, when they turned back, they found that the path they had come from was gone. A bottomless abyss with crimson clouds drifting in it blocked their path. Yi Chunfeng, should we go deeper into this abyss to hide? Although Yu Zhongtian was the leader, everyone's gaze was focused on Yi Chunfeng, asking for his opinion. We have no choice, go down. Yi Chunfeng made a prompt decision and was the first to rush into the bottomless scarlet abyss, trying to find a way to get rid of the death flames that were roaring like a tide. Cotton Teen with Acute NOMISTAK latest update mobile reading home. Book address In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 588. Fuck, why aren't those flames dispersing? We've already dived down several thousand meters, but we still can't shake them off. Yi Chunfeng's group passed through the layers of scarlet clouds, but they still couldn't shake off the pursuit of the death flames. This made them extremely anxious. Northeast, there's cold chi there. Perhaps we can borrow the cold chi there to shake off the pursuit of the death flames. Yi Chunfeng's soul energy sensed strands of mysterious cold chi in the northeast. After a moment of hesitation, he immediately led the group in that direction. Ice cave, there's actually an ice cave here. Yi Chunfeng and the others flew at top speed for the time it took for half an incense stick to burn, and found that the temperature of the air was constantly dropping. Through the layers of red clouds, they found a huge ice cave on the precipitous cliff that was covered in ice and surging with bone-chilling cold air. Although the ice cave in front of them was slightly strange, Yi Chunfeng's group had no other choice. They could only take the risk and fly into this ice cave that had existed for who knew how long. They wanted to borrow the power of the ice cave to shake off the pursuit of the death flames. Yi Chunfeng and the others had just flown into the winding and rugged ice cave that led to an unknown destination when the extremely fast death flame chased after them. However, when the sentient death flame sensed the power of the ice cave, it revealed an obvious look of apprehension. It did not dare to blindly enter the ice cave, and instead stood guard outside. Damn it, although the death flames didn't come in, they didn't leave either. Should we take the risk and enter this ice cave? Shadow's sharp senses sensed the death flames circling outside the ice cave. He frowned and looked at Yi Chunfeng, asking for his opinion. Although the Dark Shadow Tower and Yi Chunfeng were enemies, after witnessing Yi Chunfeng's various powerful methods, Shadow unconsciously treated him as their backbone in this crisis. Not only did Shadow look at Yi Chunfeng, but Heisher, Tuji, Yuiheng, and the others also looked at Yi Chunfeng. Clearly, Yi Chunfeng had unknowingly replaced Yu Zhongtian as their leader. Zhongtian, what do you think? Yu Bingyu glanced at Yi Chunfeng, then looked at the gloomy Yu Zhongtian, and asked in a low voice. There must be some unknown danger in this ice cave. Otherwise, the death flame would definitely dare to come in. Therefore, I suggest that we wait here patiently until the death flame leaves. Taking in everyone's gazes, Yu Zhongtian was greatly annoyed. If it weren't for the fact that the dragon abyss was extremely ferocious and Yu Zhongtian didn't dare to act alone, he would have long since shed all pretense of cordiality with Yi Chunfeng and explored alone. You're right. There should be something in this ice cave that the flames of death are afraid of. However, I feel that, if we work together, there should be a chance for us to fight for it. That's why I want to enter this ice cave and see what's inside, Yi Chunfeng said. If you want to go, then go. In any case, I won't take the risk to enter the depths of this ice cave. Yu Zhongtian said coldly. If you want to take the risk, follow me. If you don't want to take the risk, stay here and wait, Yi Chunfeng said loudly. All right, I'll go with you, Heisher Tuji said. I'll go as well. Ing Kuei Yuiheng, Ziyun, and Xiaoyoba also decided to go with Yi Chunfeng. Let's go. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng took out a moonlight stone and illuminated the ice cave. Bringing Heisher Tuji and the others, they quickly dove into the depths of the mysterious ice cave. If we encounter any danger, I hope that everyone can work together and face the enemy together. I don't want to run away alone. If we can find any opportunity in this ice cave, I won't take it all for myself. I will distribute it according to our contribution, Yi Chunfeng solemnly said as they went deeper into the ice cave. Whoever dares to run away from danger, I will be the first to exterminate them. Heisher Tuji clenched his fist and said in a deep voice, Woo woo. Just as Yi Chunfeng's group dove for an hour, A faint and indistinct female sobbing sound came from the depths of the ice cave and entered everyone's ears. For a woman to suddenly cry in such a place, it made everyone's scalp go numb and their hearts turn cold. Slowly, the indistinct sobbing sound turned into a resentful and sorrowful singing voice. Once one heard it, their soul consciousness would sink in and they would not be able to extricate themselves. Strange, this singing voice is strange. Feeling the sorrow in his heart being awakened by this resentful singing voice, Yi Chunfeng immediately guarded his mind and sealed his ears. Everyone, quickly guard your mind. Don't listen to this singing voice anymore. However, just as Yi Chunfeng finished speaking, he realized that Zi Yun's eyes had become empty and his consciousness was in chaos. He felt like his soul was being taken away. Zi Yun, quickly wake up. Feeling that Zi Yun's soul was being taken away by the mysterious singing voice, Yi Chunfeng immediately released a sound wave that contained a dragon's roar. It exploded in Zi Yun's ears and instantly woke him up. Come, let's go down and take a look. As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng took the lead and led everyone to swiftly fly towards the bottom of the ice cave. Meanwhile, the singing voice that came from the depths of the ice cave became clearer and clearer, and the devilish energy grew stronger and stronger. Zi Yun's soul that was the weakest amongst everyone was once again lost. Lion King's roar. Yi Chunfeng's upper body abruptly expanded as a terrifying lion's roar accompanied by a dragon's roar gushed out from his mouth and shattered the singing voice that was filled with devilish energy. He arrived at a gourd-shaped space that was filled with crystal-like icicles, and he saw a woman with a graceful figure and snow-white hair that hung loosely down to her waist. Her legs were crossed, and her back was facing him. Moreover, the sorrowful singing voice that filled the ice cave was emitted by her. Spirit Crystal of Death. This woman is transformed from the Spirit Crystal of Death. Under the fourth level of the Illusion Dao Insight, Yi Chunfeng clearly saw that this woman's heart had a crystal that was pitch black like ink and had strands of death energy coiled around it. This black crystal was precisely the Spirit Crystal of Death that was nurtured by the Spirit Crystal of Death for a few tens of thousands of years. Although the Spirit Crystal of Death didn't possess the miraculous ability to revive the dead like the Spirit Crystal of Life, the Spirit Crystal of Death was an exceptional treasure to refine weapons. When ordinary treasures were fused with the Spirit Crystal of Death, it would greatly increase the attack power. Moreover, a complete Spirit Crystal of Death might even contain the Tao pattern of death, and it could be said to be extremely precious. I'm so lonely, which one of you will accompany me? Leaving is painful, but it's also the only release. As she sang, Yi Chunfeng and the others suddenly understood the content of the woman's singing voice, and the sorrowful and despairing emotions in their hearts were awakened bit by bit. Stop pretending to be mysterious here. Yi Chunfeng, whose martial Tao heart was unparalleled, shouted out explosively as he withdrew his king weapon and slashed out an extremely sharp sword light at the white-clothed woman. You're so ruthless, you actually want to make a move against me. Numerous black lights shot out from the white-clothed woman's body and transformed into a black vortex that forcefully blocked the sword light that Yi Chunfeng slashed out. In the next moment, the white-clothed woman with a graceful figure slowly turned around and revealed a devastatingly beautiful and flawless face. When Yi Chunfeng saw her face, his soul trembled and he was stunned. Because he saw that the white-clothed woman's face was exactly the same as the Yu Nikhang that he yearned for day and night. Cotton Flower of Death Soonest Update Mobile Reading Site. Book Address. For the sake of convenience for your next reading, you can click on the Collect button at the bottom to record this reading record, and you'll be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 589. Yi Chunfeng noticed that the white-clothed lady's face was exactly the same as Yu Nichang's. However, He Shi, Tu Ji, Ing, and the rest didn't see Yu Nikhang, but the most important person in their hearts. I've been waiting for a long time. Why didn't you come and accompany me?" The white-clothed lady revealed a trace of a mournful expression as she spoke while walking. Her lovely appearance made people feel tender affection for her and couldn't produce a trace of battle intent. "Damn it! You actually dared to transform into Nichang's appearance and deceive me." Although Yi Chunfeng's mind was a little dazed when he saw the white-clothed lady's face, he, who had cultivated his illusion Dao intent to the 4th level, instantly recovered his consciousness. In the next moment, a high-pitched dragon's roar reverberated in the surroundings. The double-headed Blood Dragon King, which had reached the level of a level 7 heavenly beast, flew out of his mind and hovered above his head. It let out a terrifying dragon's roar at the white-clothed lady. Hearing the double-headed Blood Dragon King's roar, Ing, Heisher, 2G, and the rest instantly recovered their consciousness. The white-clothed lady also revealed her true face. It was a face without a trace of flesh and blood, just like a skeleton. "Heisher, 2G, Ing, the 3 of us will be the main attackers. The 4 of you will be the main defenders. Don't let her escape." Yi Chunfeng assigned the tasks and attacked with his ruler armament. Ancient heavenly lightning break. As he approached the white-clothed lady, the ancient heavenly lightning with extreme yang and extremely destructive power surged out of his body and turned into a lightning vortex that engulfed the white-clothed lady. The instant the white-clothed lady was engulfed by the lightning vortex, Heisher 2G and Ing Shuang took out their strongest heaven artifacts and executed their powerful Dao skills. Boom! Boom! 2 deafening explosions rang out as the 2 Dao skills blasted onto the white-clothed lady's body like a hot knife through butter. They shattered her body's defenses and wanted to shatter her body. Defense of death. Seeing the white-clothed lady's body's defenses being broken, a large amount of black death aura surged out from the layer of ice beneath her feet, forming layers of black light barriers that enveloped her body and forcibly blocked the attacks launched by Yi Chunfeng and the other 2. 5 million Jin burst. 7 swords of judgment, waning moon. The lady in white borrowed the power of death hidden in the ice layer. The moment she clashed with the attack, the power of the 4 spiritual pearls in Yi Chunfeng's body burst forth. The sword Dao pattern and thunder Dao pattern fused together, forming a crescent arc that traversed the space. It was like a crescent moon that struck the black light barrier. Kacha Yi Chunfeng's attack was extremely powerful. The terrifying power of the sword Dao directly shattered the black light barrier and damaged the white-robed woman's body. "Lowly humans, you've infuriated me. I want you all to go to hell." Deathly icy. Now that her main body was injured, the white-clothed woman was enraged. Her hollow eyes flickered with a dim light as she continuously mobilized the power of the entire space, forming a black sea of ice filled with countless amounts of ice, engulfing Yi Chunfeng and the others. The moment the ice sea of death formed, the woman in white disappeared into the sea of ice, making it impossible for Yi Chunfeng and the others to capture her figure. Rumble! A series of deafening booms rang out as huge waves formed in the ice sea of death. They were like gigantic hands that could hold up the heavens as they slammed towards Yi Chunfeng and the others. Heisher 2G Ing Yuiheng, all of you attack with all your might. I will find the location of the spirit crystal of death. The rolling black waves of death swept over while Yi Chunfeng allowed the giant waves to slam against his body. He controlled the God-Eater brain's power to radiate out and search for the white-robed woman's hiding place. Only by severely injuring her would they be able to break through the deathly ice sea that was engulfing them. Such a terrifying physical body. How exactly did this Yi Chunfeng cultivate? His physical body's defense is actually stronger than my mid-grade heaven artifact battle armor. After witnessing Yi Chunfeng using his physical body to withstand the attacks of the deathly ice sea, Yu Yiheng and the others couldn't help but gasp. They were astonished by his terrifying physical body. Over there, the white-robed woman might be constantly moving in the deathly ice sea, but under the radiation of the God-Eater brain, her every move was captured by the God-Eater brain. Instant kill sword. After locking onto the white-robed woman's attack trajectory, Yi Chunfeng decisively thrust out his sword. The sword light that was as fast as lightning tore through the layers of ice sea and stabbed towards the white-robed woman who was moving at high speed. TSK. The white-robed woman couldn't dodge in time and was stabbed by Yi Chunfeng's sword. 40 sword Dao patterns and 20 thunder Dao patterns gushed out from the sovereign weapon and pierced through the white-robed woman's body. 5 frenzied axes. The white-robed woman was stabbed by Yi Chunfeng. The instant her body was exposed in the deathly ice sea, He Shi too burst out with astonishing power and shattered the ice that had frozen his body. He skimmed across the sky and consecutively cleaved down with 5 powerful axe lights, bombarding the white-robed woman's body. There was a series of explosions as the white-robed woman's body started to crack after receiving the consecutive attacks. She was in so much pain that she cried out in agony. Deathly Ice Sea Death Strike. With her body severely injured, the white-robed woman immediately executed her killer move. She wanted to make use of the formidable power of death to forcefully kill Yi Chunfeng and the others. Under the white-robed woman's control, the deathly ice sea that engulfed Yi Chunfeng and the others quickly converged and formed a demonic starlight in the blink of an eye. It froze the spatial zone and blasted towards Yi Chunfeng and the others. The instant the white-robed woman executed her killer move, Yi Chunfeng and the others didn't hold back either. They all executed their formidable Dao skills to counter the attack. Boom, boom, boom. Several waves of energy blasted together and formed a force that could destroy heaven and earth in the depths of the ice cave. The ripples caused the spatial zone to distort on a large scale. Large cracks extended on the surface of the ice walls, and the entire world was in chaos. Although the sure-kill attack launched by the white-clothed woman was terrifying, the attacks launched by Yi Chunfeng and the others at the same time were even more ferocious. They directly destroyed the ice sea of death and ruthlessly smashed into her body, shattering her body, revealing the crystal-like spirit crystal of death that was located in her heart. Once the spirit crystal of death was exposed, Yi Chunfeng immediately released a wisp of soul force and wrapped it around the spirit crystal of death. He kept it in his hand and quickly released his soul force to permeate it. There are no death Dao patterns. When Yi Chunfeng discovered that this spirit crystal of death only contained formidable power of death and didn't have any death Dao patterns, he immediately lost interest in it. This spirit crystal of death was obtained by all of us. I will not keep it for myself. How about this? Let's leave this spirit crystal of death with Shadow first. Once we have explored this ice cave and obtained enough opportunities, we will then split it. All right. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng didn't want to keep the spirit crystal of death for himself, Yu Yiheng and the others' expressions eased up. They didn't hesitate to agree to Yi Chunfeng's suggestion and asked Shadow to keep this spirit crystal of death. Let's go. Let's go to the bottom of the ice cave and take a look. I feel that there should be a great opportunity down there. After speaking, Yi Chunfeng took the lead and brought He Shi, 2G, Yu Yiheng, and the others out of the shattered spatial zone that was filled with cracks and could shatter at any moment. They continued to move down the ice cave and search for the hidden great opportunities. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 590. 7,000 meters, 8,000 meters, 9,000 meters. Yi Chunfeng led He Shi and the others through the increasingly narrow ice cave. They reached a depth of nearly 10,000 meters before finally arriving at the end of the ice cave. Oh, what is that? Walking into the depths of the ice cave, where the temperature was extremely low, He Shi Tuji and the others discovered that in the middle of the layers of cold air, there was a bone-chilling cold pond. And in the center of the cold pond, there was a pure white lotus flower without a single flaw. Within this lotus were 6 lotus seeds the size of longans. Each of them contained a powerful Tao intent and strange lines. Could that be the legendary 10,000-year-old Tao lotus? Looking at the snow lotus in front of him, Yu Yiheng suddenly recalled that this lotus was exactly the same as the 10,000-year Tao lotus described in the ancient texts of the Yu family. In particular, this Tao lotus had condensed 6 lotus seeds that were even more valuable. This caused him to become excited. A 10,000-year-old Tao lotus. Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows. Although he didn't understand the 10,000-year-old Tao lotus, he knew that any spiritual item that contained Tao intent was extremely valuable. As for this Tao lotus, it had grown for over 100,000 years. Its value definitely surpassed a fake Tao pill. It was comparable to a true Tao pill. How about we work together to pluck this 10,000-year-old Tao lotus, and then split the lotus seeds evenly? Suggested Yi Chunfeng. All right. Although He Shi and the others knew that plucking the Tao lotus and obtaining its lotus seeds would be extremely difficult, the temptation of the Tao lotus was too great. They decided to take the risk. You guys wait here for me. I'll go investigate the dangers around the Tao lotus. The bold Yi Chunfeng held his king armament and walked towards the 10,000-year Tao lotus step by step. He wanted to see what kind of ferocious thing was protecting it. As for that ominous being, it was very likely to be a terrifying existence that even the flames of death feared. Or, as he approached the 10,000-year-old Tao lotus, Yi Chunfeng suddenly felt a biting cold wind in the surroundings. A bone-chilling ghostly wail could be heard. In the next moment, an extremely cold air passed through the ground beneath his feet and into his legs, instantly freezing them. 10 million jin of force break. With his legs frozen, Yi Chunfeng's legs immediately surged with a force of 10 million jin, shattering the ice and continuing to walk towards the Tao lotus. Just as Yi Chunfeng continuously shattered the ice and approached the 10,000-year Tao lotus, a strange phenomenon occurred. In the air above the 10,000-year-old Tao lotus, a natural formation condensed from endless cold qi suddenly appeared, enveloping Yi Chunfeng, wanting to trap him. This is a natural formation. The moment the natural cold array appeared, Yi Chunfeng's sharp senses immediately detected the danger. He quickly used the wind-riding technique and seized the moment when the natural cold array trapped him to retreat. When Yi Chunfeng dodged, the natural cold array that appeared out of nowhere suddenly disappeared. The chaotic void returned to its original calm state. As expected, it's not easy to pluck the 10,000-year Tao lotus. Looking at the natural formation protecting the 10,000-year Tao lotus, everyone's brows wrinkled. Although they didn't personally experience the might of the natural cold array, but from the terrifying aura emitted by the natural cold array, this naturally formed formation wasn't simple. Wanting to break it would be very difficult. Yi Chunfeng, do you have any good methods to break this natural cold array? Shadow asked in a low voice as he looked at Yi Chunfeng, giving off a mysterious aura. This natural cold array is naturally formed. Apart from forcibly breaking it, I can't think of any good methods. Yi Chunfeng pondered for a moment and said, "Forcibly breaking the array?" Hearing Yi Chunfeng's words, Shadow and the others frowned. This was because Yi Chunfeng's suggestion was extremely dangerous. Someone had to go deep into the array, otherwise it would be impossible to draw out the natural cold array. Leave the task of going deep into the natural cold array to me. You all just need to stay outside and attack with all your strength. But after this matter is done, I must first pick 2 treasures from the 10,000-year Tao lotus. Yi Chunfeng proposed. All right, I have no objections. Shadow agreed without the slightest hesitation upon hearing Yi Chunfeng's suggestion. I also have no objections, said He Shi. Although Yi Chunfeng had the right to choose first and was very likely to choose the most precious part of the Tao lotus, if they couldn't break the natural cold array, they would miss out on this opportunity. Furthermore, the natural cold array protecting the Tao lotus was extremely powerful. Tuji and the others didn't dare to go deep into it and take on the natural cold array's attacks head-on. They could only agree to Yi Chunfeng's suggestion. Seeing that no one had any objections, Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and discussed with Tuji and the others how to forcibly break the natural cold array. Taking out his king armament, he once more walked toward the Tao Lotus. Yi Chunfeng shattered the layers of ice and approached the Tao Lotus. The natural cold array that was hidden in the void appeared once more, releasing boundless cold qi that enveloped Yi Chunfeng. But this time, Yi Chunfeng didn't retreat. He allowed the natural cold array to envelop him. He controlled the God-Eater brain's energy to probe the natural cold array's weak point. Rumble, a series of deafening booms rang out. This naturally formed cold qi formation was activated, causing the cold qi at the end of the ice cave to surge into the formation, forming huge balls of cold light. They were like falling meteors, bombarding Yi Chunfeng in a concentrated manner. What are you waiting for? Attack with all your strength. The natural cold array devoured the cold qi in the air to increase its power. As it attacked Yi Chunfeng immediately shouted at Tuji and the others, "Bloodline ignition!" Hearing Yi Chunfeng's shout, Tuji, Shadow, and the others didn't hesitate to ignite their spiritual beast bloodlines. Wielding their strongest heaven artifacts, they unleashed their most powerful attacks. As one heaven-shaking Tao skill after another bombarded the natural cold array, the natural cold array began to tremble. However, it was unable to weaken the natural cold array's power. Divine Demon Bloodline Ignition, Divine Demon Body. Facing the natural cold array's attack, Yi Chunfeng didn't hesitate to ignite his divine demon bloodline and transform into his strongest divine demon body. He forcibly raised his physical body's defense to the level of a supreme-grade heaven artifact to resist the attacks of the cold light balls. Flame Dragon World Annihilation, 9 Dragon Sword Slash. Fire and water countered each other. After transforming into his divine demon body, Yi Chunfeng immediately slashed out flame dragon-like sword lights. His fierce attacks constantly shattered the cold light balls as he ferociously attacked the natural cold array. Black Flame Skyfire, Incinerate. Yi Chunfeng was inside the natural cold array while Tuji and the others ferociously attacked from the outside for about 5 minutes. They relied on their powerful attacks to tear apart the natural cold array bit by bit. Yi Chunfeng summoned the Black Flame Skyfire. He wanted to use the Black Flame Skyfire's scorching energy to break the natural cold array in one fell swoop. However, the instant the Black Flame Skyfire appeared, Yi Chunfeng suddenly felt a terrifying energy awakening in the ice pool below the 10,000-year Tao Lotus. In the next moment, endless cold air gushed out from the ice pool. It was like a surging tide that rushed towards Yi Chunfeng. And, what kind of ferocious creature is hidden under this ice pond? When Yi Chunfeng borrowed the power of the Black Flame Skyfire to resist the cold wave, his sharp senses felt a terrifying energy slowly awakening at the bottom of the ice pool. This energy was so strong that it made him feel a strong sense of danger. Skyfire. Just as Yi Chunfeng was withstanding the natural cold array's attack and casting his gaze towards the violently boiling ice pool, a rough voice rang out. A ball of light that was as black as ink and contained extreme cold air and death energy flew out of the ice pool. It was filled with hostility as it looked at the Black Flame Skyfire. When Yi Chunfeng saw this black ball of light, his pupils immediately shrank into the most dangerous pinholes. He never expected that there would be a ball of extremely rare and almost extinct skywater here. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Collect button below to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 591. Heavenly Fire. I hate heavenly fire the most. I'm going to destroy you. Heavenly fire and heavenly water had been mortal enemies since ancient times. Seeing Yi Chunfeng summon the black flame heavenly fire, the black heavenly water let out a ferocious roar. It released endless cold currents to attack the black flame heavenly fire, wanting to destroy it. Extreme ancient heavenly water, extreme ancient heavenly lightning, attack. The natural cold formation protecting the 10,000-year-old Tao Lotus was too powerful. Yi Chunfeng couldn't divert his attention to subdue the black heavenly water. He immediately summoned the 2 heavenly spirits to defend against the cold currents containing the power of death. Heavenly water, heavenly lightning, human, you are surprising me more and more. But here, no matter how powerful you are, it's useless. Obediently give up your life and everything you have. As it spoke, the black heavenly water transformed into a cold light that fused with the natural cold formation's power. It froze the entire space and sealed Yi Chunfeng in ice. Sword puppet, help me defend against the cold formation. Yi Chunfeng immediately summoned the sword puppet and ordered it to help him defend against the cold formation's attack. He held the ruler weapon and faced it head-on. 22 million gene of force erupt. Feeling the black heavenly water contain the power of death, Yi Chunfeng didn't hesitate to erupt with shocking physical strength. He blasted out the Great Sun Heavenly Fire Fist. When the Grand Sun Heavenly Fire Fist struck the black heavenly water, it immediately exploded with over 20 million pounds of force and scorching will of fire. It blasted into the black heavenly water, and the terrifying attack forcefully cracked it open. Death freeze. His body was torn apart by Yi Chunfeng's explosive power. The black heavenly water suddenly spread out and continued to mobilize the power of the natural cold array to freeze Yi Chunfeng, instantly turning him into an ice sculpture. The black heavenly water contained the power of death like maggots that penetrated through Yi Chunfeng's pores and drilled into his body, devouring his vitality. What is that? Aside from the natural cold formation, there are actually other vicious things guarding the 10,000-year-old Tao Lotus. He Shi Tu and the others who were attacking the natural frost formation ferociously suddenly discovered that Yi Chunfeng had been frozen into black ice, and their expressions changed drastically. If something happened to Yi Chunfeng with their strength, it would be impossible to obtain the 10,000-year Tao Lotus. But at the same time, Yu Yiheng, Kuei, and the others were also secretly delighted. If Yi Chunfeng could die here, it would be a pretty good result for them. Primal Chaos Divine Wood, devour! At the critical moment, the Chaos Divine Wood that had taken root in Yi Chunfeng's heart meridians extended tens of thousands of chaos roots and covered Yi Chunfeng's entire body. They devoured the power of death that had entered his body and neutralized the most fatal attack of the black heavenly water. What is it? There's something in your body. The moment the Chaos Divine Wood devoured the power of death, Black Sky Water immediately sensed the existence of the Chaos Divine Wood. It smelled a strong sense of danger and didn't dare attack Yi Chunfeng again. It wanted to quickly escape. It's too late to run now. When Yi Chunfeng saw that Black Sky Water wanted to escape, he immediately controlled the 3 heavenly spirits to attack it, sealing off its escape route. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng continuously used the Heavenly Tao's ruthless Heavenly Tao and the profound underworld Extreme Tao to attack Black Sky Water. The eruption of powerful Tao wills forcefully weakened its power and created an opportunity for the Chaos Divine Wood to devour it. Cold ice formation, fuse. Although Black Sky Water was strong, it couldn't withstand Yi Chunfeng's continuous attacks. In addition, its most fatal attack, the power of death, was completely suppressed by the Chaos Divine Wood. It was very difficult for it to injure Yi Chunfeng. As its heavenly spirit body was repeatedly destroyed and torn apart by Yi Chunfeng, it was afraid and gave up on counterattacking. It directly charged towards the natural frost formation in the sky. Boom, boom, boom. The natural frost formation fused with Black Sky Water, and its power rose steadily. It had practically drained the ice cave's spatial energy. While repairing the frost formation's surface, It condensed endless cold winds that were like giant ice hands that slapped Yi Qianfeng. Wrath of divine punishment. The cold winds that were enough to kill a reverse beast king expert instantly attacked. Yi Qianfeng's three heavenly spirits quickly fused together and formed the wrath of divine punishment to meet the attack. Boom, boom, boom. The wrath of divine punishment destroyed a large amount of cold winds and exploded when it got close to the natural frost formation. The terrifying destructive power was like a storm that churned the heavens as it bombarded the natural frost formation. Crazed Demon 9 Slashes. Ancient Shadow Assassination. While Yi Qianfeng was attacking with all his might, He Shi, 2G, Ing, and the others also made their moves at the same time. They attacked the natural frost formation, wanting to forcefully break it open. Extreme Ice Seal. After being attacked continuously, Black Skywater, which was under immense pressure, didn't hesitate to use the power of the natural frost formation to launch a fatal attack on Yi Qianfeng. Cold air instantly flooded the frost formation and instantly sealed Yi Qianfeng and the sword puppet in ice. A large amount of cold air and the power of death once again entered his body, wanting to freeze him to death. 22 million gene of force erupt. Judgment 7 Swords Eclipse. With his body frozen, Yi Qianfeng immediately controlled the black skyfire to protect his body. He used his strongest power to forcefully shatter the ice around his body. A scarlet sword light that was as bright as the sun broke out of his body. It carried an unstoppable sword aura as it tore through the frozen space and stabbed into the natural frost formation. Rumble. After receiving Yi Qianfeng's all-out attack, the natural frost formation trembled violently. Black Skywater, which had fused with the natural frost formation, was also heavily injured and let out a painful howl. Heartless Heavenly Tao. When the black heavenly water was severely injured, 6 marks of the Way of the Heavens flew out of Yi Qianfeng's body and quickly transformed into the might of the Way of the Heavens. The terrifying power of the Way of the Heavens almost shattered the black heavenly water in the natural cold formation. Primal Chaos Divine Wood Devour. In the next moment, tens of thousands of 5-colored roots drilled out of Yi Qianfeng's body. They forcefully penetrated the ice that was full of cracks and took root in the natural cold formation. They started to devour the black heavenly water that had been continuously attacked and shattered. No. After being devoured by the primal chaos divine wood, Black Skywater let out a horrified howl. It kept releasing deathly cold aura, trying to break free from the primal chaos divine wood's devouring. Unfortunately, after being severely injured, its strength was extremely weak. It was unable to tear apart the selfless root. Slowly, Black Skywater was devoured by the 5-colored roots and finally disappeared into the natural frost formation. Refine and recognize me as your master. After the primal chaos divine wood devoured Black Skywater, Yi Qianfeng immediately released his flames of life to refine it and forcefully make it recognize him as its master. After losing Black Skywater, the natural frost formation, which had lost a lot of its power, also lost its initial prowess. It was no longer a threat to Yi Qianfeng. He actually still has a hidden trump card. Witnessing the scene of Yi Qianfeng releasing the 5-colored roots and devouring the black heavenly water, everyone present was stunned. They never expected that Yi Qianfeng, who had heaven-defying means, still had a powerful trump card that he had yet to use. They increasingly felt that he was unfathomable. Under the dual refinement of the flames of life and the primal chaos divine wood, the restless black skywater gradually calmed down. In the end, it was suppressed by the primal chaos divine wood and recognized Yi Qianfeng as its master. The next moment, information about Black Skywater appeared in Yi Qianfeng's mind. This ball of terrifying Black Skywater, which was comparable to a half-step combat beast emperor expert, was evolved by the forces of life and death over hundreds of thousands of years. It was the bipolar Skywater that was born from the forces of death and ice. Mobile reading website, book address, To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 592. Dual Extreme Heavenly Water, Ancient Extreme Heavenly Water, Fuse. After subduing the dual extreme heavenly water, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the primal chaos divine wood to forcefully fuse the two heavenly waters. He wanted to fuse them together and form a new heavenly water with even stronger cold energy. And such a crazy action could only be done by Yi Chunfeng, who possessed the primal chaos divine wood. After all, subduing the heavenly water was already as difficult as ascending to the heavens, let alone fusing two heavenly waters. Rumble. When the two heavenly waters were fusing in the primal chaos divine wood, there was a series of spatial vibrations. The natural cold array drew out the last of its energy and launched a fatal attack at Yi Chunfeng. It wanted to kill him and rescue the dual extreme heavenly water that was suppressed by him. Seeing the cold energy descending from the sky like icicles, Yi Chunfeng didn't dodge. Instead, he soared into the sky and charged forward without any fear. The heavenly Tao is heartless. When the natural cold array gathered the last of its energy to form the cold energy that was about to strike Yi Chunfeng, the 7 heavenly Tao runes flew out of the godfiend body and transformed into a terrifying heavenly Tao rune. It carried a shocking destructive power as it struck forward. Boom, boom, boom. A thunderous sound exploded in the natural cold array. It was like the angry roar of a heavenly god. It caused fear to rise in people's hearts. Following the world-shaking explosion, a volcanic eruption of energy blossomed in the void. It distorted the cold array's space and destroyed everything. It directly tore apart the natural cold array that was protecting the 10,000-year Tao Lotus. It caused the entire ice cave to tremble. Cracks that were 100 meters long rapidly spread in the 10,000-year ice cave. The entire ice cave could collapse at any moment. Quickly retreat. He Shi, 2G, Yu Yiheng, and the others outside the cold array saw the destructive energy that was sweeping over like a storm. They were so frightened that they quickly retreated. They were afraid that they would be engulfed by this destructive energy and be heavily injured. Do you think that Yi Chunfeng will die in there? Kuei looked at the increasingly intense destructive energy with lingering fear and asked in a low voice. Know that Yi Chunfeng has great fortune on him. He won't die so easily. Shook his head and said, but he might be seriously injured after being attacked by such a terrifying power. If Yi Chunfeng is really heavily injured, will the 6 of us be able to kill him? Kuei's eyes flashed with a hint of viciousness as she asked. This. Hesitated for a moment, then transmitted his voice. There is a chance, but the chance is not big. Moreover, I don't recommend taking the risk to attack him now. We need a powerful combat power like him. Otherwise, we may be wiped out in this dragon abyss. Violent winds howled, space distorted, and terrifying energy wantonly pervaded the air. Suddenly, a blurry figure appeared in the storm of destruction, walking out with heavy steps. What? After being baptized by such a terrifying destructive power, he only suffered light injuries? What kind of constitution does he have? It's too heaven-defying. Seeing Yi Chunfeng walk out of the annihilation storm with a slightly pale face, bleeding from many places, and a chaotic aura, everyone present was stunned. They were shocked by his physical body. I've already obtained the 10,000-year Tao Lotus. Now let's divide the spoils. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and suppressed the heavy injuries in his body. He took out the 10,000-year Tao Lotus that contained powerful Tao intent and spirituality from the universe mirror and slowly said, Yi Chunfeng, you contributed the most to obtaining the 10,000-year Tao Lotus. You can choose first. He Shi too looked at Yi Chunfeng with reverence and said, All right, then I won't be polite. I want this entire 10,000-year Tao Lotus and a Tao intent lotus seed. With a wave of his hand, Yi Chunfeng sucked out 5 Tao intent lotus seeds from the 10,000-year Tao lotus and threw them to Shadow. He put the precious 10,000-year Tao lotus and Tao intent lotus seed into the universe mirror. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng actually wanted the entire 10,000-year Tao lotus, the expressions of Yu Yiheng, Xie Lushao, and the others became slightly unsightly. However, when they thought of Yi Chunfeng's terrifying combat strength, they gritted their teeth and reluctantly gave the 10,000-year Tao lotus to him. They started to divide the Tao intent lotus seed that was also extremely valuable and comparable to an ordinary Tao core. But what Yu Yiheng and the others didn't expect was that the most valuable part of the 10,000-year Tao lotus wasn't the Tao lotus seed, but the true essence of the Tao intent lotus root that was rooted in the cold pond. However, that Tao intent lotus root had already been quietly pulled out when Yi Chunfeng was in the annihilation storm and was plucking the 10,000-year Tao lotus. He secretly put it away into the universe mirror. Shadow, I'm willing to give up the Tao intent lotus seed. Can I have the spirit crystal of death? Although Ziyun was well aware of the value of the Tao intent lotus seed, there were only 5 Tao intent lotus seeds left. Ziyun knew that with the lowest strength and the least effort, he wouldn't be able to obtain one no matter what. He had no choice but to ask for the spirit crystal of death. Although the value of the spirit crystal of death was far inferior to the Tao intent lotus seed, the spirit crystal of death contained the power of death. It could be used to raise the black withered vine and accelerate its evolution. It was also a very good harvest for Ziyun. I feel that this distribution is very reasonable. Shadow, give the spirit crystal of death to Ziyun. Without waiting for Shadow to speak, Yi Chunfeng slowly said, "All right, this spirit crystal of death is yours." Shadow glanced at Yi Chunfeng and nodded. He took out the precious spirit crystal of death from his universe ring and threw it to Ziyun. As for the 5 of them, they divided the remaining 5 Tao intent lotus seed. There shouldn't be any great opportunities left in this ice cave. Let's leave this place. After distributing the bountiful harvest, Yi Chunfeng and the others didn't stay for long. They quickly left the broken end of the ice cave that could collapse at any time and flew towards the entrance of the ice cave at an extremely fast speed. About 6 hours later, Yi Chunfeng and the others left the ice cave and arrived at the entrance of the ice cave. They met up with Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wuang, and the others who were hiding not far from the entrance. As for the death flame, it had been guarding outside the ice cave for several hours. It wasn't used to the cold air that was constantly emitting from the ice cave and had long since left. Just what did you guys encounter in the ice cave? Why did you cause such a huge commotion? Yi Chunfeng and the others had attacked the natural cold formation. The intense battle with the dual polarity heavenly water had caused such a huge commotion that it affected the entire ice cave. This made Yu Zhongtian and the others extremely curious about what Yi Chunfeng and the others had encountered at the bottom of the ice cave. However, Yi Chunfeng and the others seemed to have discussed it beforehand. All of them kept their mouths shut and didn't speak about what had happened. This only made Yu Zhongtian and the others so angry that their faces turned ashen. The more Yi Chunfeng and the others kept quiet, the more Yu Zhongtian and the others felt that they had obtained a great opportunity in the ice cave. Their hearts were filled with regret that they didn't follow them. All right, the death flame has already left. Let's leave this place. Yi Chunfeng looked at the ashen faces of Yu Zhongtian and the others and suggested, "Yi Chunfeng, should we fly to the top of the abyss or go to the bottom of the abyss to take a look?" Shadow asked, completely treating Yi Chunfeng as the leader. "I'm preparing to go to the bottom of the abyss." Yi Chunfeng pondered for a moment and said, "I'll follow you." He Shituji and Ziyun immediately agreed. Shadow, Yu Yiheng, and the others also agreed. Yu Zhongtian was so angry that his teeth were itching and his face was ashen. Seeing the attitude of He Shituji and the others, Yu Zhongtian knew that although he was still the leader in name, Yi Chunfeng had already taken away the leadership from him. All right, those who are willing to follow me, follow me. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng was the first to fly out of the ice cave. He took the risk of flying towards the bottom of the abyss. Let's go, we'll follow. Yu Zhongtian saw that He Shi Tuji and the others didn't hesitate to follow Yi Chunfeng to the bottom of the abyss. He gritted his teeth and followed along with Mo Wang and the others. About half a day later, they passed through the layers of red clouds and finally reached the bottom of the abyss. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button below to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 593. Strange. At the bottom of this abyss covered in red clouds, I can actually see the stars in the sky clearly. After flying to the bottom of the abyss, Yi Chunfeng found that it wasn't dark at all. Strange stars appeared above their heads, flickering with red starlight that illuminated the entire abyss. Yu Zhongtian, use your compass to see which direction we should go, Yi Chunfeng said softly as he looked at the mysterious and unknown bottom of the deep chasm shrouded in scarlet clouds. What, you want to order me around? Yu Zhongtian's expression was dark and full of hostility. I'm not ordering you, I'm cooperating with you. If you refuse, then there's no need for us to continue cooperating. Let's part ways here. Yi Chunfeng coldly said. You! Hearing Yi Chunfeng's resolute words, Yu Zhongtian was furious, but he knew that the dragon abyss was extremely dangerous. Now was not the time to shed all pretenses with Yi Chunfeng, so he could only suppress his anger and take out his eight-sided ancient compass. He poured a large amount of soul energy into it to guide the way. Let's go that way. After sensing for a while, Yu Zhongtian led Yi Chunfeng and the others in the direction indicated by the eight-sided ancient compass. They flew towards the northwest of the abyss, which was filled with layers of drifting crimson clouds. Wait! Yu Zhongtian led the way and led Yi Chunfeng for more than 2 hours without encountering any danger or trouble. Suddenly, Yi Chunfeng, who had been using the God-Eater brain to sense the surroundings with his eyes closed, shouted. What's wrong? Hearing Yi Chunfeng's voice, Yu Zhongtian's group immediately stopped and looked at him questioningly. Yi Chunfeng opened his eyes and looked at the strange surroundings with a frown. Do you guys feel like we've been going around in circles? We haven't left this area at all. Going around in circles, no? He Shi Tuji frowned and immediately looked around, but he didn't find anything strange. I hope my feeling is wrong, Yi Chunfeng murmured. He took out a supreme-grade earth-rank staff and stabbed it into the ground. Come, let's keep going. In order to confirm his hunch, Yi Chunfeng took out a top-grade earthly artifact every half an incense stick's worth of time and stuck it into the ground. Slowly, they flew for another 2 hours. Suddenly, a familiar staff appeared before everyone's eyes. This staff was none other than the top-grade earthly artifact that Yi Chunfeng had stabbed into the ground earlier. Looks like I was right. We're lost and have been going around in circles, Yi Chunfeng said with a gloomy expression. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that the abyss he was in was not simple. There was a great danger here. Ancient roulette, show me the way. Yu Zhongtian took out the eight-sided ancient plate again, wanting to use its mysterious gravitational force to leave this place. That way, let's go that way, Yu Zhongtian said when the 8 guiding lights of the eight-sided ancient plate merged together and pointed to the east. Wait, I think there's danger over there. Just as everyone was preparing to follow Yu Zhongtian to the east of the deep abyss, Yi Chunfeng, who had his eyes closed and sensed his surroundings, suddenly called out to them. There's danger. Yu Zhongtian sneered. Yi Chunfeng, I believe there's no problem with my ancient roulette. If you don't believe me, you don't have to follow. After saying that, Yu Zhongtian no longer paid any attention to Yi Chunfeng. He followed the directions of the eight-sided ancient plate and headed east. Yi Chunfeng, let's follow them and take a look. If we still can't get out of here, then we'll think of other ways. Ziyun walked to Yi Chunfeng's side and suggested through voice transmission. All right. Yi Chunfeng nodded. He and Ziyun followed at the back of the group. As they moved forward, they left behind a few supreme-grade earthly artifacts to act as landmarks in case of an emergency. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng had really followed him, the corners of Yu Zhongtian's mouth curled up slightly, revealing a smug smile, as if he had won a round against Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng, now you should believe there's no problem with my ancient roulette, right? According to the ancient roulette, it won't be long before we can leave this place. Yu Zhongtian followed the directions of the 8-sided ancient plate and walked for more than an hour. He did not repeat the same path again, as he said with a proud smile. I don't think we can keep going. Yi Chunfeng ignored Yu Zhongtian's provocative gaze. He frowned as he looked at the space in the distance. What, do you have some strange feeling? Yu Zhongtian sneered. Yu Zhongtian, I don't care if you believe it or not, but we're walking towards danger step by step. If we don't turn around, our lives will be in danger, Yi Chunfeng coldly said and directly sat down on the ground, no longer moving forward. Yi Chunfeng, don't be an alarmist here. Yu Zhongtian sneered. If you're willing to stay here, then forgive me for not accompanying you. After he finished speaking, Yu Zhongtian continued to pass through the layers of red mist with the 8-sided ancient disc in his hand, heading towards the east. Yi Chunfeng, do you really feel that there's danger ahead? He Tuji glanced at Yu Zhongtian's back, then turned his head to look at Yi Chunfeng, who was sitting cross-legged, and asked softly. Yes, there's danger ahead. Yi Chunfeng nodded. As for whether you want to believe me or not, that's up to you. Yi Chunfeng didn't say anything else. He closed his eyes and used the God-Eater brain to sense the strange and unknown dangers of the abyss. Yi Chunfeng, I believe in you. He Tuji thought for a moment and didn't follow Yu Zhongtian. He silently sat down on the ground. As for Violet Cloud and Shadow, although they didn't say anything, they also chose to believe in Yi Chunfeng and didn't continue forward. But other than the three of them, everyone else, including Sunflower, chose to believe in Yu Zhongtian and quickened their steps. 4 idiots. When Yu Zhongtian sensed that Yi Chunfeng and the other three did not follow him, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly, revealing a mocking smile. If Yi Chunfeng really died here, that would be the outcome he wanted to see the most. But as they walked, Yu Zhongtian, who was walking at the very front, felt an inexplicable sense of unease in his heart. Through the layers of red mist, he could vaguely see a spatial crack that cut through the void, releasing a destructive power that seemed to swallow the world. Yu Zhongtian noticed the spatial tear in front of them. Yu Bingyu, Mo Wang, and the rest also noticed it. They stopped in their tracks, not daring to approach. Could it be that he really sensed great danger? Yu Zhongtian's face was ashen as he thought to himself. But if he retreated like this, he would definitely become a laughing stock and lose all face. But if he continued to move forward recklessly and approach the spatial crack, he might very well be swallowed by it and lose his life. In a flash, several thoughts flashed through Yu Zhongtian's mind. In the end, fear won over his dignity. He gritted his teeth and said, "Stop moving forward. Let's go back." But when they turned back the way they came, they unexpectedly found that they were getting closer and closer to the spatial crack that was swallowing the world. Why is it like this? Why are we walking in the opposite direction and still getting closer to the spatial crack? Could it be that we are lost in this space, and no matter which direction we go, we are getting closer to it? Looking at the spatial crack that was getting closer and closer and feeling the destructive power that was gushing out from the crack, Yu Zhongtian's forehead was covered in sweat and a strong sense of unease grew in his heart. When they wanted to fly into the sky, they felt that they were getting closer to the spatial crack. It was as if they would be swallowed by the spatial crack if they flew any higher, so they quickly descended. At this time, Yu Yiheng and the others were filled with regret. They regretted not listening to Yi Chunfeng's advice and following Yu Zhongtian deeper, which led to them falling into a desperate situation. but it was too late for regrets. Yu Yiheng, Shi Luo Mo, and the others all cast their gazes at the solemn Yu Zhongtian, praying that he had other means to get them out of this desperate situation. Readers who want to read the latest chapter of this book, please visit Yunlai Pavilion or your mobile phone. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 594. Ancient Compass, Guide Heaven and Earth. Feeling death approaching step by step, Yu Zhongtian's heart became more and more uneasy. He forced out a large amount of essence blood and sprayed it on the eight-sided ancient compass, stimulating the power of the compass to guide the way. Buzz buzz. After fusing with Yu Zhongtian's essence blood, the eight-sided ancient compass vibrated. 8 white guiding lights shot into the sky and extended in 8 directions. After about half an incense stick's time, the 8 guiding lights merged together and turned into a twisting light that extended into the distance. Follow me, follow the guiding light's path. If anything happens to those who wander around, don't blame me for not saving you. Yu Zhongtian, who had used up a large amount of essence blood and was slightly pale, shouted loudly. He led the group forward like a spirit snake. Under the guidance of the 8-sided ancient compass, Yu Zhongtian's group quickly walked for more than an hour. When they felt that they were far away from the terrifying spatial crack, they let out a long sigh of relief. However, at this time, the 8-sided ancient compass had almost exhausted all of Yu Zhongtian's essence blood. The guiding light was getting weaker and weaker and could disappear at any time. Helplessly, Yu Zhongtian clenched his teeth and spat out a large amount of essence blood at the 8-sided ancient compass without any hesitation. He stimulated the 8-sided ancient compass's strongest gravitational force and continued to move away from the terrifying spatial crack. Finally, when Yu Zhongtian spat out essence blood for the 3rd time, they finally saw Yi Qinfeng's group of 4 in the thick scarlet fog. Kuei, did you guys encounter danger ahead? Ing, who was sitting cross-legged beside Yi Qinfeng, opened his eyes and looked at Yu Zhongtian's group, who had returned with an ugly expression. Yes, there's an extremely terrifying spatial crack in front of us. Kuei nodded and explained what she had just encountered. Now you should believe my words. Yi Qinfeng, who had been controlling the God-Eater brain for several hours and deducing some profound mysteries, opened his eyes and looked at the pale Yu Zhongtian, who had used up a lot of essence blood. Yi Qinfeng, what did you see? Can you bring us out of here? Yu Zhongtian asked with a gloomy expression. Yes. Yi Qinfeng said without hesitation. Then what are you waiting for? Why aren't you taking us away? I have a feeling that the spatial crack we encountered is moving, closing the distance between us bit by bit. Yu Zhongtian, who was feeling a little uneasy, said loudly. If I remember correctly, you seem to be our leader. Yi Qinfeng's lips curled up slightly as he looked at him with a faint smile. You! What? You think there's something wrong with what I said? Yi Qinfeng asked with a smile as he looked at Yu Zhongtian, whose fists were tightly clenched and whose eyes were twitching. Yi Qinfeng, you win. If you can get us out of here, I'm willing to give you the right to lead us. 8 small speak. Yu Zhongtian gritted his teeth, doing his best to restrain his emotions as he said sullenly. I don't need the authority of a leader. If the 9 of you want to follow me, then you must pay a price. Yi Qinfeng looked at the ashen-faced Yu Zhongtian and coldly said, Price. Yu Zhongtian and the others were so angry that their lungs were about to explode. They all cast angry gazes at Yi Qinfeng. If looks could kill, Yi Qinfeng would have been riddled with holes by their angry gazes. If you don't want to pay the price, that's fine. But don't follow me. I have no interest in bringing along burdens like you. Yi Qinfeng ignored everyone's angry gazes as he slowly stood up and said, Let's go. The 4 of us will leave together. Wait. Yu Bingyu saw Yi Qinfeng leave as soon as he said so. She tightly bit her lips and shouted, "What price do you want us to pay? Everyone, give me 1,000 top-grade soul crystals." In order to increase his life-saving trump cards, Yi Chunfeng was prepared to extort the soul crystals from Yu Zhongtian and the others to give to the sword puppet to increase its strength. 1,000 top-grade soul crystals. Yu Zhongtian and the others glared as they became even more angry. The value of a top-grade soul crystal was extremely high. 1,000 top-grade soul crystals could buy a terrifyingly powerful mid-grade Dao artifact in the East Continent. If you don't have enough top-grade soul crystals, you can use heaven and earth spirit items or high-grade soul crystals to exchange for them. However, high-grade soul crystals must be exchanged at a ratio of 1:1:2. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, "Yi Chunfeng, you dare to loot a burning house?" Yu Zhongtian couldn't control the anger in his heart as he roared in anger. "No one is forcing you. If you aren't willing to pay the price, then stay here and fend for yourself." Yi Chunfeng ignored Yu Zhongtian's angry gaze and said coldly. Just as Yi Chunfeng was preparing to leave with He Yen and the others, a terrifying aura appeared in the void. The spatial crack that Yu Zhongtian and the others saw in the depths of the abyss had strangely appeared. It swallowed and spat out destructive energy like a violent tide that swept through the world. The terrifying power caused Yu Zhongtian and the others' expressions to change. Not good. That spatial crack can really move. Yu Zhongtian and the others' expressions changed when they saw the spatial crack that looked like a huge mouth. They hurriedly called out to Yi Chunfeng and said, "Yi Chunfeng, if I'm willing to give you 1,000 top-grade soul crystals, you can really take us out of here." "I just said that I can. But if you don't believe me, then there's nothing I can do," Yi Chunfeng said somewhat impatiently. "Fine, I'll give you 1,000 top-grade soul crystals. But I hope you won't lie to us. Otherwise, even if I have to exhaust all my trump cards, I'll definitely kill you." Yu Zhongtian clenched his teeth and took out his remaining 1,000 top-grade soul crystals, reluctantly handing them over to Yi Chunfeng. Since Yu Zhongtian had surrendered under the threat of death, Yu Bingyu, Mo Wang, and the others had no choice but to pay a hefty price. Among them, Sunflower, Shirluo Mo, and Xie Lu only had a limited amount of top-grade soul crystals. They had no choice but to take out a large amount of middle-grade soul crystals and heaven-class spirit herbs to give to Yi Chunfeng. "All right, since you're willing to follow me, then everything will be under my command. If anyone dares to act on their own, I'll immediately kick them out." After obtaining 7,200 top-grade soul crystals, 50,000 high-grade soul crystals, and 6 heaven-class spirit herbs, Yi Chunfeng icily warned them. "Yi Chunfeng, I'll let you be happy for a while. Sooner or later, you'll be crying." Yu Zhongtian clenched his teeth and swore inside. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng raised his head and looked at the spatial crack that was swallowing everything. He slowly turned around and began to walk northwest of the abyss according to the path the God-Eater brain had deduced. As he walked, Yi Chunfeng intentionally left deep footprints in the ground. He had everyone walk on his footprints to avoid any accident. After about 6 hours, Yi Chunfeng's group had passed through several layers of illusory spaces and were getting further and further away from the spatial crack. "We're out, we're finally out." Finally, under Yi Chunfeng's lead, they walked out of the strange spatial rifts and arrived at a deep, jade-green lake with ripples on its surface. In the center of the deep lake, there was a patch of green grass. A beautiful purple flower that was 1/2 meter tall and had illusory petals attracted everyone's attention. Soul flower. Looking at the beautiful purple flower growing in the center of the lake, Yu Zhongtian's eyes suddenly lit up. He recognized at a glance that the beautiful purple flower in front of him was an extremely precious soul flower that could nourish the soul. 2. Readers who want to read the latest chapter of this book, please visit the Yunlai Pavilion or your mobile phone mobile reading site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.